Let's do this.
Yeah, we're back. Apostate Radio. Yeah. Okay.
You know, you might as well get all of this out of your system, because in a couple of weeks, well, I mean, you might do something. You might do something after, aside from this. We won't be hearing that.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I might just break out in a song in the middle of an episode. So,
oh boy.
a little acapella,
It's crazy.
Performance,
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, everyone, boys, girls, children of all ages. We want to welcome you to Apostate Radio. It's that time once again. Even though I have not been sure of this all week. I am Isaiah Carter, and I am coming to you live from Uptown, the Boogie Down Bronx, along with my cohort, my brother, my someone who has become very, very important to me in my life over the last several months. ET's finest, Mr. Nostra Chavez. What's good, brother?
Yes, feeling good, brother. Happy to be here.
Oh,
Same,
man.
and also I want to respond in kind to what you said, man. There's a budding, beautiful relationship we have.
Thank you.
Sin playadas.
Thank you.
It's a way of saying no homo in Costa Rican Spanish.
Wait, say that again.
Sin playadas.
Sin playadas. Oh, okay.
Playadas. I don't know if that's slang. Yeah, because I think a slang way of saying somebody's gay is playo. That's why.
Playo. Oh,
so it's basically saying like no gayness or something like that.
So it's different from maricón.
Yeah, I mean they say that too. They'll say that too.
Okay.
But they're like que playo, like how like that's gay or whatever. Like that's what they'll say.
Okay. I got you. See, I'm expanding my Spanish vocabulary.
It's Costa Rican slang. I'm not sure if anybody else says that. I think it's Costa Rican only.
Okay. I got you.
Maybe not. I don't know.
So this is a big episode for those of you who are not aware. This is our I guess could we call it a season finale? I guess we could call it
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because are we going to have other seasons? I don't know. That's the thing.
I
think this is going to be the big season of life, man.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to be doing this for a long time, I think, and usually we probably won't have too many breaks.
Well, true, but in this particular case, we're taking a 2-week hiatus.
Maybe.
Well, you won't.
You're taking a 2-week hiatus. I might be doing something. I might be getting some stuff together.
Yeah, bro, I'm gone. Like I'm gonna be taking the next couple of weeks off to obviously recharge, spend time with my new wife.
You need that.
Basically and also do some retooling for the show, because we want Apostate Radio to be the best possible show it can be. Okay. Those of you who are active in the chat, those of you who have trusted us over the last several months, been watching us over these episodes, I just want to take this opportunity right now and once again thank all of you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for joining us on this ride. We love you all, and we want to make sure that this is the best show possible, and we're going to do it, Lord, with God's help. So, with that said, if you want to follow us individually, there are our @s on X. It's Isaiah L. Carter and Nostra Chavez. And also, if you want to follow our show page is Apostate Radio NY. Show announcements. We also post when we go live there. Lots of interesting things going about. You can also the subscriptions on my X at Isaiah L. Carter are available now at $5 per month. One of the things that we're going to be doing during our hiatus is we're going to be retooling some things and making sure that those of you who do subscribe get the most bang for your buck. Also, I'm going to be posting this on I won't say spamming, but this week is this is the last you'll hear of it. Okay. Kareen and I's wedding fund and also our Amazon gift registry. We'll be posting them. We'll be putting the links below. We'll be putting the links below our X post, and I'll also be posting them in the chat. So this will be the last week you'll hear of it. And we're Saturday, like this Saturday is the big day.
It's a big day.
This Saturday is the big day. Great thanks to all of you who have already sent us things, given us, the gifts, the money, the cash, whatever. We thank you all once again for your support, and we're gonna have a great time. Thanks to you once again. So let's see. We've already got a lot of activity. We've got Chris Olin saying he's late, but welcome in, sir. Just going to get this out the way. And Chris said Nick's vocals sound better than the stock intro music.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Chris. You're my boy, Chris.
Yeah, Marie Isabella. We love you, girl. Thank you. What's up to you?
Always got love for Marie.
And never married. I don't know who that is, but thank you. Welcome. Keith says hi, friends. Yeah, we got a lot of and here comes my boy Jordan, our friend.
Jordan.
Let's get it. And with that in mind, let's get to it. Coming to our show for the very first time, someone who has been in our circles, but now here we are meeting for the first time on our 24th episode. She is the host of the Deprogrammed podcast. And like I said, we have a lot of people in our orbit. First time that we have ever met. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Miss Keri Smith. You know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. I think I have the applause.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to actually meet you guys.
There we go. Yes.
I think that's like the Snooki sound. Isn't that like the Jersey Shore kind of?
That's like a DJ.
Okay.
But she might have, she probably used it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she did. Well,
that makes me think of Jersey Shore. Yeah, I'm very happy to meet you guys. As you said, we have so many friends in common, and you've been Isaiah in particular, you've been popping up in my feed so often, and I was like, this guy's like right on about a lot of things, and so I'm happy to meet you. I felt like we were supposed to meet. Thanks for fitting me in your busiest of weeks.
Oh my God! And you know what? Thank you again. I was telling Keri off air about just how crazy the last couple of weeks have been. Let's see. I moved from Brooklyn to the Bronx at the end of May because my landlord in Brooklyn is selling his building, so I had to get everything. So I had to, because I had the original plan was to move at the end of June. So imagine having to bump up this move a month early, and then to finally get up here, and then with all the unpacking that unpacking takes a while to do. We'll be honest. Last week we got the marriage license from the courthouse in the Bronx. we're getting married. The actual ceremony is going to be in Maryland, where Kareen's family, Kareen is Jamaican, okay, but she's got family coming up from Florida. And I think she's got like 1 or 2 people coming up actually from Jamaica, the island.
Fun.
Yeah, so this is going to be like a big deal. All of my family's already in Maryland and Baltimore and the surrounding areas. This is going to be a big thing. This is going to be a big thing, and
be fun, man.
I'm looking forward. It's
whew. Don't forget to have fun.
Don't stress. I won't, because my brother, my next to the youngest brother, actually lives not too far from where the reception is going to be. So we gonna be lit. We gonna be lit.
You deserve it, man. It's well deserved.
Yeah, man. Anyways, Keri, welcome to the show.
You.
And if you could, since this is your first time on the show, please introduce yourself to our audience. I'm sure they want to hear all about you. And I might actually, in a way, you're going to be introducing yourself to us as well, because this is the first time that we've we've really talked lately through here. So without further ado, my dear, please, who are you and what gets you going?
Lately, what gets me going? Antiquing. One of my favorites, yes, and house renovation. Like I told you before, my husband and I are renovating a house that was built in 1914. It's a historic Texas historic home. That's a lot of fun. But who am I? Why am I in the podcasting world? I in 2017, I started leaving 2017. Actually, it was 2016 is when it started, because it took a while. I started leaving the leftist cult that I was in, the woke cult.
2016.
2016, around the election, is one of the big pivotal moments around the election of Trump that started to shake things for me. I started writing about it. I actually had a few essays that were shared by Jordan Peterson, which sort of led to me coming out, I guess, as an apostate. And I left my career. I had worked in entertainment and comedy. I worked with a lot of woke comedians. I was a producer on Totally Biased on FX, which was Totally Biased with W. Kamau Bell, which was a very explicitly woke show.
Really?
Yeah, our other executive producer was Chris Rock. And then Kamau was my client. And then there were several other comedians who were my clients who wrote on the show. And I would say it was the first, all the late night shows were left leaning, but this was very explicitly social justice leaning.
Yeah, I remember watching some episodes of that.
Really?
Even back then, I was like, "This is ridiculous!" Like, because
we thought we were doing great. I mean, I was a true believer. I was like, "We're doing the Lord's work," although I didn't believe in the Lord.
Well, Kamau Bell, to me, is just completely and totally unfunny. I think I really I remember when they tried to make Fetch happen with him on Comedy Central, then with FX, and then I remember he had that show. I don't know if he still has with CNN.
That's the last show that I sold before I got out. I sold that show. I was actually the one that, because we had a competing offer from MSNBC, but I was like, no, we should do CNN. Here's why. We put that thing together. It was originally, I think in the end, we called it United Shades of America. There was a different name at the beginning. Anyway, it was, look, I still think that he is, I haven't seen him recently, but I still think a lot of the stuff he was doing back then was funny. But objectively, it was ideological first. It was woke first, and then the humor came second. And over time, it became less funny on the TV show, because the more that you focus on the ideology, and I think honestly, the longer you're in that belief system that we were both in, the less joyful you become. And so it's harder to be funny because it's getting sucked out. You're in a cult, and pushing the cult ideologies comes first. And so over time, it does kill comedy. And so I haven't seen him, what he's doing recently, but I'm sure he's still in it, and probably not as joyful and funny as I used to think he was. But yeah, so I was in that world, and then I left that. So imagine being in that world. My whole job was pushing woke comedy, and
comedy,
I worked with Margaret Cho. We
That's
did
quite a job, man.
Yeah,
it can be quite difficult, I'd say.
And that's what I was known for. And I was sort of a niche in entertainment. I had my little niche in comedy. I was known as the feminist manager. Margaret Cho was another person I worked with, and she was known for doing comedy about sexism and homophobia and racism. So it was all the isms. And then when I started waking up, and questioning everything. I was like, I don't know what to do, because I'm starting to think that this belief system I was so gung ho about and so like an evangelist for, I think it's evil. and so leaving that was a big sort of cancellation. I did a essay about it, and Jordan Peterson shared it, and then all my friends, man, they did an intervention with me, an ideological intervention to try and
what?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well,
yeah, you got it. Well, hold on.
It didn't go.
Before we
wait, could you describe this?
Yeah, please do. We want to hear about this.
Stage for this.
Well, at that point, I had moved to Texas. I still hadn't closed my comedy management shop yet, but I was shortly about to. I had moved to Texas to get away from Los Angeles. I was trying to figure out what I thought about things. I was going to church for the first time. People thought I was going crazy. The kind of stuff I was sharing was I was trying to understand why Trump won in 2016. So I was sharing different types of things that I had never shared before. And in my cult, you didn't share these. You never share conservatives. You never said, read this. What do you think about this? So they had seen the kinds of stuff I was sharing, and they were telling me on social media, no, Keri, this is your white privilege talking suddenly.
Oh my God,
and so they sent one of my best friends. She was in Texas to do a documentary with a very famous quote unquote trans kid at the time. And she was like, look, everyone's calling me, and they're all wanting to know what's happening with you, and everybody's very concerned. And so let's meet while I'm out there. So I went to this lunch with her, and it was basically, she told me, because of the kinds of stuff you're writing and sharing and the essays and stuff, and you're not just leaving the tribe, you are attacking the tribe. And
oh my God,
you're not going to be able to come back if you do this. And I was like, well, honestly, I was trying to explain it to her. I'm like, I don't want to come back. I think it's bad for people, and I think it's bad for society, and here's why. And yeah, it was basically like, if you do this, we're all cutting you off. And after that, she wasn't one of the ones who publicly started attacking me. She just quietly unfriended me, which was sad, 'cause she was one of my best friends. But some of the others started publicly. I had been friends with woke journalists, people in entertainment, media people. One of them started doing tweets about, she had a pretty big following. She was like talking about me on Twitter, like, my formerly feminist friend who's now become an alt-right red-pilled Nazi, and I'm like, I'm a what?
Oh my God.
The worst.
So that was it.
Oh my God.
Unfriending and cancellation thing and all that.
What fucking dog shit, man?
There's only two opinions allowed. My opinion and Nazi.
That's a struggle session.
Yeah.
That's everything that we've talked about for the last several years. It's like they've literally become the Maui. They are the Red Guard now. Well, the blue guard, or the blue and pink guard.
Yeah, the blue and pink guard.
The blue guard, right? That's what Democrats are, the blue guard. And there's actually some other context that I want to talk to you about that, because they're becoming, like, the one thing that I've noticed over the last several weeks and months is that they're becoming less subtle. Like, as they lose power.
Yes, Isaiah.
As these people lose power, and as they start to try to grab more of it, and I don't want to get too far into it, because I do want to ask your opinion about, like, like the mayoral races, both here in New York and in Minneapolis, they're just taking all of the brakes off and going, yeah, we're commies, we're communists, or we're democratic socialists, and this is what we want, and we want to, and we're it's basically, we're here, we're commies, and we're going to take over. But yeah, so the first thing I want to get into.
Let me quickly say this, because I forgot. I kind of meandered. After I quit doing that, I now host, as you said, a show called Deprogram with Keri Smith. I had a show before this. I started in 2018 with a co-host, but I started this one a couple years ago, and the focus, I try to make the focus, helping to explain someone like me, how I look at things, to my former leftist friends. That's how I try and think of it. And thankfully, I have had many people who now watch the show who used to be in the woke cult. Some of them started hate watching me to send me hate mail, and they are now out. So that's my whole goal. Now, I sometimes get, like all of us, can start to preach to the choir, and then I try and recenter myself and say, no, I want to bring leftists out of it. So that's what I do with Deprogram. That's it. There you go. Sorry, I had to get that.
That's a good goal.
That's a very good goal, and we've got a lot of people who,
then they could join our podcast, the Apostate Radio.
Exactly. We listen. Yes. I love the fact that we've had so many people on the show who were leftist or were liberal and are coming out of that space, who came out after realizing, oh my God, these people are like what exactly is happening, and want to get more people out if they can. I mean, I had a very similar, my situation was, I got into a bad relationship right before my relationship with my now wife. I got I was with this girl who was originally from California. She was living in Brooklyn. Okay. And she worked in DEI.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. She worked for a DEI nonprofit. And long story short, I got to see like the real dark side of what the diversity, equity, and inclusion industrial complex does to Black women in particular, women in general, but Black women in particular. And I'll never forget I knew I was in trouble when one of our first dates was to a drag show. Okay. There were no children at this drag show. And
this must have been prior to 2020.
It was 2019. Yeah.
No kids there.
Yeah. This was like 2019. And like I said, I figured, okay, it's fun, and we were supporting like a coworker of hers. Okay. And then a year later, I had not seen this guy in a little over a year. So I asked my ex at the time, and she's like, how is he? How's he doing? And she goes, oh, they're doing fine. And I was like, oh dear. I was like, oh no. Oh, he identifies. Oh, they identify as non-binary. I'm like, what? White gay man is now identifying as a plurality. And I was just like, no. And I had just hit my peak when it came to that foolishness, because I've noticed stuff about that movement since like 2011. Okay. And going back, as like thinking about it, it's just like seeing this now where it's like right up in my face. This girl just used plural pronouns to describe a singular being, and I'm like, oh no, I got no. I was like, no, we're not doing this. So long story short, she left me in November of 2020, and I've been better off ever since. But that was the catalyst in many ways for helping me to understand all of this wokeness and where exactly this leftist dog shit was coming from.
You got to see how it affected someone who was in it, who worked in it,
slept right next to it every night.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm serious. It was to watch as this woman. Honestly, I think that there was a point in which she did believe that she was doing the right things.
Yeah.
She was trying to help society and also trying to like there's a part of me that does genuinely believe that she was trying to do something for the good of humanity, right? But a lot of these people who get into DEI and all of these other various concepts like critical race theory and stuff like that, they get into this stuff. A lot of the people that get into this are like sociopaths.
Yes,
they have narcissistic personality disorder. They've got dark triad, all sorts of stuff, and it's just like these are not the kind of people you want anywhere near your movements.
It definitely opens a door to them too. I mean, if you have a thing where you can just say without any work, without any surgery, without anything, saying I'm a man. I'm a woman, I should say. I'm a woman. So I can be in women's spaces, I can be in women's locker rooms, and it's all you gotta do is you don't even have to change how you look, really. You just be like, identify as a woman. That was the rule, right?
That sure was.
And you think there's no male perverts that would take advantage of that? Like, there's a number for that, 0? I don't know. Does anybody here think that? If they do, let me know. But certainly some people are going to do that. I'm not saying all of them or most of them that would identify as trans. So you leave the door open for perverts, sociopaths, psychopaths to enter women's spaces, and there's a reason why there's separate women's spaces, because women are vulnerable, and obviously children are vulnerable, and you got to keep them safe from predators, from male predators. Like, that's the main thing. There's a reason for it. It wasn't just an arbitrary rule. So,
yeah, I find it absolutely crazy. And Nick, I have a bone to pick with you. I just saw something. I have a bone to pick with you. Yeah. You think you slick. Thank you. I appreciate you, pal. That's all I'm gonna say.
I sent him a Valentine card.
What? And that's the response you get?
It was really sweet. It was like I put a poem in there. And he
did. It's really nice. It's really nice. Thank you, Nick. You think you're funny? Thank you, bro. I really appreciate you.
No, I donated to his GoFundMe. I don't want to confuse
Keri. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate.
I've been meaning to, but I just haven't. I wanted to do it on the air so I can get all the credit. Basically, I'm that kind of person.
So we've got some messages also that have come up. Shaggy Fox says an ideological intervention is proof they are in a cult. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not even a question at that point. Marie Isabella says, "Welcome to the ranks of being a Nazi."
In quotes.
Sorry,
yes, we are not Nazis, everybody.
You know what's crazy though, and this is the thing. Like we have so much going on. What kills me is that these guys think that they're doing something by spamming that word. They're spamming that word. Like, you're not doing anything. First off, you're draining the word of
the power
all
of it.
Meaning.
Yes.
Of all power.
Mm-hmm.
Because now,
boy who cried wolf, man. It'd be good if they learned some old wise stories and tales and nursery rhymes,
exactly,
and didn't destroy all of them. They're there for a reason. They've survived for generations for a reason, but one of the things about the woke, I'll say real quick, is that like they're amongst the most unwise people. Like the ideology.
Oh my God, yes.
It's so unwise. It's so not based on fundamental truths, and that's why you see the Democratic Party and the woke in general just kind of flailing out there,
wholly divorced from it. And we're gonna get to that. Let me just get to a couple more of these. Keith says, "I'm a black male who has left the Democratic Party in the last 2 months. My eyes have been opened. They are so off the rails and angry and violent. They are, and again, we're gonna get into so much of this tonight.
Keri, did you want to say something about that? About the
please.
what Isaiah just brought up? Because I think you look like you're about to say something.
I know you said we might get into it later, but just quickly, them misusing the leftist cult, misusing words like racist or Nazi and all this stuff. Like you said, it's the boy who cried wolf. And one of my fears ever since leaving that cult has been what happens when somebody comes along or there's a powerful movement that actually does embody those things. And now we're starting to see some of that creep up, and it's exactly what we thought was going to happen. Now these people who are out there worshiping Hitler, telling us they like Hitler, saying objectively racist things like maybe black people are not American, they're not even human, saying stuff like that. They're now, when you say correctly, hey, sounds like a very racist thing to believe. It is, or that's a very you're worshiping Hitler, you say you're a fascist, are you not a Nazi? And they're like, oh, I guess everyone's a racist. And they will say to me now, those words don't mean anything. And I'm like, this is the danger. Those leftist people who sucked all the meaning out of those words, they contributed to this. They grew the very thing that they said they were against. And I have a lot more to say about that when we get into it. That's
100% true. And it's funny. Everybody predicted it. Everybody that was talking about this about 10 years ago and against this, like, I think pretty much anybody who was smart predicted that was going to happen. You can't just label people really, really crazy words to try to silence them, which was really kind of what they were doing. I hope they didn't believe that everybody disagreed with them as a Nazi, because that's really how they used it frequently. Or they're transphobic, hated, hateful person, just hates and scared of trans people, when like you're just trying to protect kids and protect women.
A lot of them do believe everyone, though, Nick, is if they don't agree with them, that they are. And that's why I talked to one of them in person recently, a friend who's still kind of in that world. And in April, and I was trying to explain, like, look, there actually are white nationalists who are becoming more popular now, at least online. It's starting to slowly grow. And and I was trying to explain it, like, what you're doing and what you have done hasn't helped. It's actually contributed to the problem. And you're not going to be of any use, leftist person, to pull those people away from that white nationalism. You're not going to be of any use because you don't even understand the pieces on the board. You don't even know what game we're playing. You think I'm a Nazi, like you don't even know.
And that's a very dangerous thing. There's a couple things, like the one thing is the apathy is the first danger, when they just don't care. They don't, and Aaron Magruder 20 years ago was warning about this. Aaron Magruder, the creator of the Boondocks comic strip, and then one of the greatest cartoon shows ever made. He was warning about that years ago, like 2004. And he's telling people, listen, y'all, like eventually people are just going to get to a point where they're not going to care. You can say whatever you want. You can talk all this stuff about how everything's racist. Again, this was 2 decades ago. And they warned people are going to shut off. That's the first thing. The second danger, like you said, is, if you just gonna keep calling me a Nazi, well, then I'm just gonna go ahead and be a Nazi. Right.
That too.
And just like you said, and I've seen this, and that is really where the woke right have come in. And I'll name names. Andrew Isker scares the shit out of me. Andrew Torba scares the shit out of me. Who's the guy? Jake Shields is one, but there's another one.
Elijah Schaefer.
That's the one I was thinking. Like, all these guys. Listen, some of the things that they say are. Some of the things that they say, I won't sit here and pretend like it's like some of the things they say aren't true, because some things they do say are true, but it's the extremism that it's dripped in. Okay. It's that it's basically when you say that communism marries truth to lies. They will tell the truth, marry it to the lie that they want you to believe, and then that way they have control over you and what you think and how you act and what you believe.
If nothing they said was true, then they wouldn't be effective. any con artist, whether it's communist or whether it's a fascist or woke left, woke right, whatever it is, or if it's a fake Christian, like a televangelist or something, they speak nuggets of truth. Cult leaders do the same.
Exactly.
They speak certain things that are true. Look at the guy that was head of Nexium, the sex cult. He would take different nuggets of wisdom and truth from different faiths and different thinkers throughout history, and you pepper all of the bullshit you're selling with that.
Exactly.
And that's what brings people in. There's poison in there. It's like you're getting some truth and also some rat poison.
Exactly. Trojan horse.
Real quick, Jordan Bold says I used to be a moderate left-leaning Democrat until 2020. I'm glad I'm no longer on that side, and I'll never go back. Peace to the Queen Apostate, Evan Barker. They have lost their minds and they are unhinged beyond reason. Keith said God doesn't make mistakes, period. Jordan also says Greg Gutfeld was genius on the 5 when he suggested we should treat Nazi like the N-word. I actually have that video. So, I found that video, and I want to, if you don't mind,
of Gutfeld.
Yeah. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
You're gonna love this. Patriot Takes, who are they're left wing. I think their own. I think they're run by like the Matus Touch guys. They're fucking assholes. But no, this is a clip. This is the clip. This is from July 15th. He said, you know what? I've said this before. Matter of fact, let's let it play. Just let it play. Because Gutfeld was genius on this.
This is why the criticism doesn't matter to us when you call us Nazis, Nazi this, Nazi that. I'm beginning to think they don't like us. You know what? Before we need to learn from the blacks, the way they were able to remove the power from the N-word by using it. So from now on, it's what up, my Nazi? Hey, what up, my Nazi? Hey, what's hanging, my Nazi?
Oh no!
Oh my God! Hold on.
Go ahead.
Look at Jessica Tarloff. Look at Tarloff. She's like, oh no. she's in full cringe mode.
I love how he said the blacks. That's funny, man.
He did that.
That's a throwback.
Intentionally.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
It's a little
throwback.
Linguistic choice that he is certain to pour a little salt.
Exactly, because he knew that leftists were going. He knew that the left were going to lose their shit over what he said, because then they're like, because here's how you know. Like if you look, because what I did was, hold on, in the hold on, let me bring that back up. Hold on, little lost here. I said it then. I said the comments are a masterclass of proving Greg Gutfeld's entire point. Almost like they're giving the game away that belief is what matters the most when they lob these insults at all who don't believe as they do. In other words, leftists need non-leftists to believe they're Nazis to the point where they won't insult and overuse the word, therefore removing its power. You soggies are softer than baby shit. Shout to Seneca Scott, by the way, friend of mine, friend of the show.
That's Seneca slang right there. The soggies.
That's Seneca. Yo,
Seneca slang.
That's the new hashtag right there. Seneca slang.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm
a branding genius.
There we go. Seneca, we love you, brother. So let's get into something. Since we're talking about Isker and Torba and guys like that, like the fucking Daryl Cooper. That, oh my God.
I gotta say, guys, too, I'm not too familiar with all these guys. I've seen them pop up on X, but I'm just not in that world. I'm in the disaffected liberal anti-woke bubble.
So what I want to do is
I'm not familiar with these.
So Keri,
I'm assuming they're a bunch of noticers.
I'm familiar with these. I can talk about this topic.
Okay.
A bunch of noticers.
So yeah. I'm not sure of, like, we know about the woke right. Okay. Mm-hmm. James Lindsay talks about it all the time. Shout to the Grandmaster.
Shout to James.
We hear a lot about this. We see the tactics that are going on. But now there's an active attempt to get someone canceled, and that someone is Joel Berry, one of the founders of the Babylon Bee. We don't know what's going on. I've been doing wedding shit all week.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening. Keri, if you would please fill us in on what's happening, and what should we know?
We should have Keri on every week to give us a woke right update.
That's the only update I could give you. I don't know anything about what's happening in pop culture. I haven't seen Spider-Man, Superman.
Our woke right correspondent.
Okay, let me just say, for anyone watching who doesn't like, because what's happening with Joel Berry is so in the weeds. Some people, especially if there's Facebook people watching, they often don't see a lot of the stuff that we see on X. So just to be brief about it, there is this growing ideology among people who claim to be on the right. I say that because I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, technically, okay, well, technically, yes, a lot of their beliefs qualify as leftist, but they claim to be on the right. Some of them are very powerful influencers, popular influencers with large platforms. And they have all in the past year started speaking explicitly as a matter of fact, not misusing the word. They have started explicitly saying racist things that are things like Black people aren't human. Okay. Things like Black people aren't American and will never be American. They've started saying explicitly anti-Jewish things. They've started saying some of them are coming right out and saying we're not conservatives. Conservatives are part of the problem. I appreciate those. I appreciate the ones who are honest. Some of them are coming out and saying they're fascists. They're saying that. They're saying some of them are saying fascism is the only solution to communism. They're basically saying woke right is the only solution to woke left. They think that liberals, classical liberals, disaffected liberals, and conservatives are all part of the same problem. They call it the post-war consensus, and they say it all led to the woke left. But here's what they have in common. This is why some people are calling them woke right. And one of the first people to do that, there's a lot of people who have done that before, James Lindsay, although they love to hate on him and try to cancel him. But Neil Shinby, who's a Christian writer, who has spoken about woke problems with woke left, even wrote a whole book about it. He was one of the first to use this phrase to call them woke right, because one of the first places they started rearing their heads was in the Christian church, a lot like woke left did. And they, here's some of the things they have in common with the woke left. They are identitarians. They believe that we should judge and treat people differently on the basis of what race they are. They make sweeping judgments about people and their worth based on what race they are. They're collectivists like the left. They're authoritarians like the left. Some of them say that they want to dismantle the Constitution like the woke left. They want to get rid of the Constitution. How much more woke left could you get? So, but they claim to be on the right. So that's just a very brief nutshell version of what is this phrase mean. And then what's happening with Joel Berry? I mean, so he's a very influential person on social media where this is thriving at the moment on X. He has a big following on X, and he is a well-known conservative voice and a Christian voice, and runs the Babylon Bee, right, with Seth Dillon. And because he hasn't fallen in line with this, like a lot of the influencers have, they're going after him, and they just picked something. And the thing they happen to pick, I think, is ridiculous, but it could be anything. The target is not what they're saying it is. The target, he's the target. They want to take him out at all costs. And so they're trying to now all post like how, first of all, they're lying about what he said, but they're trying.
Do you know what they said he said?
What did they say he said?
What was the issue?
So there was a Israel in bombing Gaza accidentally hit a church. And
I heard about this.
Three Christians who were killed. Okay. So this is what I know. I wasn't online a lot the past few days, but he was pointing out that most Christians have fled Gaza because of persecution, and that there are only about, I think he said 200 publicly practicing Catholics in Gaza currently, and that none of those are, he was like, they all express loyalty. They're all pro-Hamas. You have to be. What he's saying is factually true. Your church has to be. Otherwise, they don't allow you to exist. Like he said, there are real Christians there who are not for what Hamas is doing and for the terrorism and stuff, but they're all underground. They fear for their safety. But these publicly, the ones that are allowed to worship in public, have basically the totalitarian regime there, the terrorist regime is cool with them. And they support the regime. It's the same thing. Look throughout history. This has always been the same thing when they persecute. Look in China. Look at any religious minority that they persecute. Everybody goes underground or they flee, and the few remaining who are allowed to practice in public get the stamp of approval from that totalitarian government. The same thing happened with Christian churches in Germany under Hitler's reign. So
it happens in China.
Yes,
it happens in China and other
in Iran. Yes.
Yeah.
And so what he's saying is true, but they took that tweet and they read all this kind of stuff into it. Now, I agree it was poorly worded and everything. And I understand how you could twist it to mean what they're saying. But when you go back and look at it, you're like, but that's not what he said. They took that tweet of him saying there's X number of publicly practicing Catholics and they're all pro-Hamas. They took that and they said, wow, look, he's saying that they all deserve to die.
Yeah, I mean,
he's cool with them being killed.
Is it? I mean, is the implication that they're saying that he is so pro-Israel and such a Zionist shill?
Yes,
that he's willing to kill Christians as
yes,
well.
That's a special kind of evil.
Like the thrust I'm getting from them.
Yes,
that takes a special kind of evil to be okay to say like that's lying when you don't even have to.
Yeah.
That's lying when you don't
desperate to. It's desperate to try to nail somebody. It's a stretch. And also, do we know, just real quick, do we know that Hamas wasn't hiding troops in there or weapons or munitions?
I don't know that.
They're always in hospitals and schools.
They do that all the time, right? So how could we know?
So why wouldn't they use a Christian church and be like, see, Christians, look what Israel's doing. So I mean, there's also that. But I mean, I don't know if that's a fact, but that's also something to consider.
Yeah, that's insane. Like why would they it makes no sense. Why would they say this? It's like
because they don't like the B, right? Because the B is pretty pro-Israel in general.
They've been looking for a way.
Israel.
Yeah, because Joel Berry and Seth Dillon, there's a lot of people who've been calling out this movement woke right, whether you want to call it woke right or not. I know some people don't like the phrase. I didn't like it at first. You call it white nationalists if you want, call it whatever you want to, but it exists and it's growing. And they are out of everyone who's calling it out, there's a lot of Christians. And that's first of all, the people who don't like it being called out, who don't like it being noticed. Imagine that. Like, stop noticing that we're woke right. They will say, oh, it's only atheists and disaffected liberals who are calling it out. That's not true. It's mostly
that ain't
Christians.
true.
It's mostly Christians. Lucas Curcio, Mikhail Olson, Cody Lawrence, Will Spencer, Gabriel Huddleston. These are all conservative Christian, longtime conservative Christian men who I've interviewed recently who are speaking about it all the time. It's just a lot of smaller accounts. And here's the thing, the woke right hate Joel Berry, they hate Seth Dillon because they're large accounts and they're Christian. And they're like, no, you're not going to do this in our name. You're not going to pretend that fascism is Christianity. You're not going to do that. Like, you're not going to pretend that Jesus was a racist. Some of these guys now, I know I'm on a tear. I'll say one last thing. Nick, you were saying you didn't recognize some of these names. So some of these guys are pastors and they're total snakes. Andrew Isker, he and his partner, CJ Engel, they moved to Tennessee and they're creating a white nationalist Christian community there. They moved there to do this.
What?
Yes. And Tucker Carlson is doing interviews with them and platforming them and teaching more people about them, right? So Andrew Isker's partner, CJ Engel, I say partner, it sounds like they're gay, they're not, but CJ Engel.
They probably are.
Good to verify that.
But CJ Engel, these guys claim to be Christians. They run a church, right? He's on Twitter publicly saying Christians need to become more Machiavellian. We need to learn how to lie and be deceitful and manipulate. And I'm like, that's not Christianity.
That is the direct up. So basically, in order to beat the communists, we have to the communists.
And he says that we need to be more like the left.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Why would you? Let me ask you a question. And so if that's the case, if that's the case, then are you guys planning on transing children like the left did? Are you guys planning on doing and practicing certain things that they were okay with? Because let's be honest, if you're gonna go full like counter to the left by being them, but from the opposite direction, just go ahead and take it all the way. Just go ahead and say, I would much rather have a trans daughter than a gay son. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead, like, because I've heard a lot of quote unquote conservative people who will engage in that same kind of abomination, but will then be like, well, I'm basically embracing the abomination of trans to counter the abomination of a homosexual child. And it's like
conversion therapy, you mean, physically?
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah, that's exactly right. It's like a form of conversion therapy, or at least one that they think is fine. And I mean, up until this year, I mean, any gender clinic or Planned Parenthood, they would all be they would be all too happy to take their money. Mm-hmm. But like seriously, let's take it all the way, guys. If you're gonna go ahead and do it, if you're gonna lean into the racism, I mean, because listen, I mean, it don't take much for a Brooklyn hipster to go, to start slinging around the N-word and being like black people are idiots, especially if you come across one they can't control and or fuck.
Or say things like, you'll never be white, bro. I get that sometimes. You'll never be white, bro. They'll never accept you. Like, what are you talking about, man?
The fuck are you exactly?
I'm surrounded by white people in my community, my friends, and people of other races as well. But everybody accepts me just fine. Like, conservatives accept me just fine.
They say to me that I'm a pick me. And I'm a internally misogynist because I just want to be next to the white men's the scraps of power. I'm like, my husband's Mexican.
That's so pathological. What a pathological way to look at the world.
Power.
Shit every single time.
It's disgusting.
They say the same things every single time.
Warped.
It's like they have literally you can almost predict the time. Like you could have it on a watch. Predict when they'll say they'll never accept you. Wait a second.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is? That's a projection. Because see, being accepted by the masses, being accepted by the members of your in-group, and is the most important thing to these fucking people.
Yes.
To be cast out of their cult is truly their worst fear. To be on the outside of their in-group, because even they know that their in-group is nuttier than squirrel shit. They know
we all are part of by their point of view, the intersectional point of view, woke point of view. We're all oppressed identities in one way or another. I'm a Latino man.
Yeah.
Keri's a woman. Isaiah, you're a black man. So when people like us come out and speak against them, they are super threatened by that, because it shows that, like, they have this view of this categorical totalitarian view that, like, everything, it's all based on identity, and everybody in these groups are oppressed by the straight white man, right? So we are really a threat to them, people like us. If you've seen even people like Candace Owens in the past, black, like Byron Donalds, any kind of black Republican coming out, any woman that's speaking out up against like the radical feminism, like Camille Paglia and Christina Hoff Sommers, people like that. It's like they really hate them because they're like, you're like a traitor to them, basically.
Do you know? Here's another similarity to woke right, based on you made me think of, Nick, because of what you're saying. Is I now get all these wannabe Nazis in my comments on X, And they say to me, they have said to me, I'm a discredit to my race. I'm disgrace to my race. I'm a race traitor.
Yep, heard
they
that.
say the same thing as the other who say I'm a traitor to women. That's what the left says. Well, the woke left, well, the woke right's like you're a traitor to white people. It's like,
There's a lot of,
you gotta walk in
a lot of parallels.
Yeah,
it makes sense. The woke right term and accusation or label makes sense in a lot of ways. And I know James Lindsay, if you guys want to look more into that, I'm sure he's probably written a bunch of essays and did podcasts on that. But so I see that point of view for sure. There's obviously something going on.
You know, I just found something, and there's a guy who's there's a user in the chat right now. I believe I saw hold on. No, this is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Thought we were going to infiltrate by the woke right.
No, we weren't. If anything, there's a guy in here who could help us. Canadian Beaver.
Canadian Beaver. All right.
Oh,
I like him.
Okay.
I like him.
Canadian
You know
Beaver.
Okay.
Yeah, he says I might be able to fill you in on that. I just followed him. You should too, everybody. Okay. So I'm gonna go through some of his stuff. Let's see here. Well, let me just make sure give me a second whilst I share my screen.
You ever built a damn Canadian Beaver?
Yeah, you should ask him that.
I just found Canadian Beaver a couple of days ago because he did a great thread about the Joel Berry thing. That's probably what he's telling you about. He did a great thread detailing what they had lied about with his tweets. And I don't know who Canadian Beaver is, but he has a cute little avatar.
Keri.
Beaver with a quill. Very cute.
Canadian Beaver already answered Nick's question. Many
dams.
Dams.
He's a true beaver. That's a beaver, all right.
That's a hell of a beaver. Yeah, he ready. He ready. All right. So I won't go through the whole thing because we'll be here all night. But he's written quite an extensive thread. He says, hold on. The woke right are currently trying to cancel Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee. Many of the woke right influencers and thinkers have joined in on this cancellation attempt, at least to some capacity. This thread will show the cancellation attempt for what it is. Starting with the first lie, Joel said they deserve to die. Here's the original tweet. Israel didn't attack the church. They were attacking Hamas, and a straight tank round hit the church. It's a tragedy. It's war. And whoever is running this account should go to confession for breaking the 9th commandment. And then this guy, 3 Christians are dead, Joel. You haven't acknowledged that. Why? I did. Joel says, I did. It's a tragedy. Hamas is to blame for it. Stop bearing false witness and saying Israel attacked the church. And then let me see, at last count, there were 800 Christians living in Gaza, 1.5% of whom were Protestants. So 12 Protestants. And that was before the war. So then here's this Patrick asshole. So you support the Christians in the West Bank, right? Or do they not count because they are Arab? We see how this is. You see how
straw manning. It's totally.
You see how this is, they're basically putting words in his mouth, or in this case, putting words on his thumbs. Okay. On to the second lie. Joel hates Catholics. What Joel said had roughly said was that the 200 professed Catholics in Gaza support Hamas. It does not logically follow from this that he hates all Catholics. There are far more than 200 Catholics in the world. And lastly, the third lie, Joel wants Catholics to die. This is a combination of the prior 2 lies, which each have been addressed individually. And so here we go. Now he starts to list the main perpetrators. So then we've got Nick Fuentes, who's a word about Nick Fuentes real quick. Okay. A word about Nick Fuentes. When you go on to Candace Owens's show and end up making Candace Owens look like the reasonable one, you're absolutely out of your fucking mind. In the words of another podcaster, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. When you make Candace Owens who's one of the biggest Jew haters on the internet. I mean, when you make her look crazy, when you make her look sane. Anyways, getting back to this.
She's one that's really gone off the rails. Like, there's a lot of them I've had to unfollow that just, I used to share her stuff and everything, and it's just she's one of the ones who's gone completely off the rails. And honestly, Isaiah, I don't think a lot of it is sincere. I think there's people just like in the woke left who are just so unscrupulous. They're willing to say anything for attention and views.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, that's one thing that, I mean, I know people's like, I don't want to feed into this too much, but like, that's one of the things that really, you mentioned earlier about authenticity, right? And how a lot of the people in our circles are genuine people. Like, we believe what we say, and we say what we believe.
People that we know in common. Yes. I know a lot of great people. We seem to know some of the same great people.
And the reason, and the one thing that I want to pledge before our audience today is that we will never, and I think I could speak. I think I could speak for Nick when I say this. We will never shy away from meaning what we say and saying what we mean. Okay, there's no guesswork with with either one of us. Okay, we want to avoid that nonsense, because one of the reasons why we are apostates, why we wear that title on our, on our chest, is because we wanted authenticity. We wanted reality to reign supreme. Because where we all come from, lady and gentlemen, is like, you have to pretend that things are fine up until the point where they're not fine. You have to pretend that certain things that they hold as gospel are the truth, like men can be women. Like that racism, that white supremacy is the greatest national security threat of all time. Okay, and other random craziness,
MAGA extremists,
right? MAGA extremists.
Yeah.
Look,
not open borders and Marxist communist indoctrination throughout the whole country. That's really just creating a bunch of people to just hate your country and really want to overthrow the Constitution, dismantle the nuclear family. I mean, they say all this stuff, right? Divide men and women is a way to like, it's like termites eating away at your foundation of your home.
Exactly.
To a nation, it's deadly. So we cannot be for that. Obviously MAGA extremists can be dangerous sometimes. I mean, but I think that other stuff is a little bit more dangerous right now. And if it changed and they were able to somebody was able to kind of get rid of all of that, and then MAGA Republicans became complete fascists and were, all that stuff, then I'd be on the other side of that argument. Like, I am not loyal to any, and I don't think you are either, Isaiah, or you, Keri. I'm not loyal to any political party or any political ideology. I want to be loyal to the truth, loyal to the country, what's best for the country, reality, things like that. And that changes hands sometimes amongst political parties.
It does, and I mean, it certainly has with the Democrats and Republicans these days. I mean, the fact, like, again, like, these people, there has been a switch. There's been a switch in because I remember 15 years ago when Democrats were priding themselves as the party of science, the party of rational thinking. Yes. We're like the elite minds. We're the nerds. We're the bookworms and all this other kind of stuff. Like they prided themselves on being that. And then one day
conservatives
conservatives are
stupid, religious people, superstitious, racist, bigoted. That's, the sexist,
anti-science.
Yeah, and they want to bring everything back to the 50s and all that.
Real quick, ex-user from Grimio Power writes, Gnostic spells has a Vogelian ring. I went to DC to study Eric Vogelin at CUA. I lived in the DMV for 4 years. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. What I hope you enjoyed DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Oh, but wait. He says, here's okay, so this is the gentleman here, Paolo Roberto Telechea Sanchotene.
Quite a mouthful, Paolo.
Yeah, well, he says, I can't listen to it right now, but I am Gremio Power, who just posted on Vogelin. Excellent. Sir, thank you.
There's got to be a Brazilian gentleman.
No, that's Italian.
Gremio? I think that's Brazilian, brother.
Not with that name. Paolo Roberto Telechea Sanchotene.
There's Italian names. There's Italian names in Brazil.
Well, there's Italian names in Argentina.
All right, so that's definitely a Brazilian club. Let's see if they're in Italy as well.
Gremio is Gremio. Oh wait, I thought Gremio was.
Yes, Porto Alegre.
Porto Alegre. Oh wow. Okay, you know what? I am all over the place. So let's get to this. Let's get to this other thing. I have been I'm someone that used to worship Barack Obama. I used to worship Barack Obama.
I used to have him hanging on a crucifix. Like this.
No, the fuck you didn't.
Yeah. I just finally took it down the other day.
No, I used to like really love Barack Obama. I was one of those guys who
most people did.
I voted for him twice.
I did. Yeah, I voted for him once. I would have voted for him again. I just wasn't able to. I think I just moved or something.
I voted twice for him in 2008 and 2012. Biggest mistakes of, I mean, I said it Friday, I believe it was. Like I by my vote, I ushered in gay race communism to the United States of America.
Yeah.
It's your fault, Isaiah. You're the one who did that.
Hey man, it is my fault. Anybody who
trans communism, man, you did that.
If you vote, I did. When you listen again, I'm not going to run away from the truth. When I voted for Barack Obama, that when people voted for Barack Obama, that's what we voted for. Yeah. Okay, and I mean whether we knew it at the time or not, that's what happened. Okay, and let's not pretend like the warning signs weren't there, especially during his second term. But that's not what I want to talk about.
Well, we want to talk about Keri is Big Mike. That's what we want to get to.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
You haven't heard the Big Mike conspiracy?
Oh, Michelle being a man. Yeah. I've heard about that. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about my microphone being too large.
No, shit. No.
I was like, don't kill me. This is the only mic stand I have.
I would never judge the size of your mic. Okay.
No. There's that whole conspiracy about Michelle Obama being a man.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
That is nonsense. I don't even aspire to it myself.
It's nonsense, but sometimes people do make funny memes that make me giggle if they're clever with it. But yeah, I don't believe any of that.
Jesus, yes. Before we go into this, into that, I just want to give a quick shout once again to Canadian Beaver, who you can follow at The Honk Must Go On.
The honk must go on.
The honk must go on. I'm going to I'm gonna make sure that
before you switch to Obama, I just want to say one more thing, which I think Keri will agree with about like the woke right and like the increased, white nationalism, anti-Semitism, racism, all that stuff. Even I'm sure misogyny is in there somewhere. I think we all agree that the excesses of the far left of wokeness has opened up, made space for this, right? Yes. Especially racism, like being racist against white people for years, and then making it virtuous and institutionalized, being sexist against men for so many, probably decades in a lot of ways. Doing things that makes things worse for boys in schools, and kind of, boys are different than girls. Boys need a little bit more playtime and a little bit crazier, but instead we're we give them, you know, methamphetamines and Ritalin or Adderall and stuff, and then we wonder why they're shooting up schools, like things, and then they lack they have no meaning, and people, you know, future is female, all this stuff, which is, you know, I get the, you know, we want to encourage girls, of course, but it's like, what is that? What message does it send to a little boy or a young man? Like, future is female. It's like, why I can't be part of the
You're
future?
being preferential at that point, and that is wrong because you just create the very
for
thing
both,
that
for
you
everybody.
say problem with. I completely agree. And you know what? And it doesn't help the people you say it's supposed to help. The way you get rid of if you're truly against racial discrimination or sex-based discrimination is you stop doing it. You don't do
Right, exactly.
Then turn around and do it to a different sex or different race because because then how do you get? I used to ask woke people this when I left the woke left. I was like, okay, because they would tell me, you know, the definition that we all learned, because it is a cult and they redefine definitions all the time. They redefine words like
all
cults.
the time.
And so they taught me, I learned when I was in college. That's when I started getting indoctrinated at Duke University, that racism is prejudice plus power. I learned this in the 90s. Okay.
Yep.
And so they say, therefore, it's impossible to be racist towards white people because
I love that shit.
Power, right?
Which in itself is a power move.
Yes, it's a power move to say that. Yes,
you were the only ones that could be called racist. White people.
And they did the same thing with sexism. They said sexism is prejudice plus power. It's impossible to be sexist towards men. Okay. Yes. So then what I like to ask them sometimes is, let's say you're right. Okay. I don't think you are, but for the sake of this conversation and this thought experiment, let's say you're right. And at what point, what measurable end goal will we know that we have now corrected enough for racism that now it is possible to be racist towards white people because everything's equal now and everyone has equal power. All the groups have equal power now. So how do we measure that? And then when we get to that point, how do we then, now that we've indoctrinated generations of kids to believe that racism and sexism is contingent upon the race or the sex of the person who has the prejudice? So how do we then, now that we've taught them this, how do we unteach them that? And no leftist has ever, I've been asking this question for 8 years now, ever been able to answer that. They don't have an end goal. They don't know how to measure it. They just basically are teaching, and they taught me that we should be racist and we should be sexist in order to cure racism and sexism. And to answer your question, that's what the woke right is doing. They're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
They're
just
saying,
look, way less subtle about it.
They're like, look, the system is racist against white people. And so now we need to be, and they are actually saying to me on X, arguing with me and saying, we need to be racist. We have to be. Andrew Torba, founder of Gab, he's saying we have to become, white people have to be racist. We have to. They're selling the same thing that woke sold. It's the same, two cheeks of the same ass. That's what it is.
It's an ugly ass. Let me tell you, it's an ugly, hairy, pimply ass that we don't want anything to do with.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Sorry for that, guys. Sorry for that imagery.
No. Let's understand. Oof, that's true. So let's get into Obamagate. Okay. Yes, I'm calling it Obamagate because fuck this guy. Okay. Uh-oh. This guy and oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Pardon me.
God bless your soul, Isaiah. What's going on over there?
I have no idea.
Getting dusty in there.
A little bit. This is crazy. So Barack Obama, like in every black household in America, it seems like there's a portrait of him or him and Michelle. Okay. Now I'm gonna go crazy in a rant about him a little later because I know our time with you is a bit limited. But here's what pissed. But today, I think it was July 18th. So what is that? Friday. It came out. It was reported that DNI leader, the Tulsi Gabbard, dropped a bomb on us with regards to Barack Obama's involvement in our politics in the last in the last several years. What makes me especially angry about this is that, remember how Obama didn't leave DC after his his presidency? Remember how everybody in the news media was like, "That's strange. Every other president leaves DC." He stayed. He's the only one in United States history who stayed in DC. And I think we now know why. Here is Tulsi Gabbard from Fox News, a clip that was posted by Nick Sortor. Want to make sure we give him proper accreditation. That is a hard working man, Nick Sortor. This is his clip right here. Keri, we'll get your reaction to it on the other side.
Yeah.
Intentional decision, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people, and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. You have gone into great detail over these years of what the effects of this document and this decision have resulted in. Obviously, a years-long Mueller investigation that cost taxpayers almost $40 million, 2 congressional impeachments, endless smears and attacks against not only President Trump, but his family. He had senior members of his team who were investigated, some arrested and jailed. We had heightened and increased tensions between the United States and Russia. The list goes on and on about the consequences of President Obama and his senior cabinet members politicizing intelligence once again, and I say these words very clearly, to enact what was essentially a years-long coup, subverting the will of the American people in that election in November.
Now, to me, it sounds like you have appointed powerful Democrats that just flat out created a narrative that was false to undermine a duly elected president. Now, if that's not a grand conspiracy, I don't know what would be. Do you see crimes here?
I do, Sean, and I'm referring all of these documents that we have found and uncovered, referring them to the Department of Justice for further investigation, accountability, and action, not just investigation, but action. Accountability has to take place. The American people's ability to have faith and trust in the integrity of our democratic republic is literally what's at stake, and therefore the future of our ability to exist as the country that we know it. This accountability is critical to make sure that this never happens again. Exposing the truth and naming those who are responsible should drive that accountability that has to take place. I just want to mention quickly, Sean, you mentioned the Steele dossier. That plays a critical role in these documents that we released, specifically because James Clapper, James Comey, John Brennan, they all knew that the Steele dossier was discredited at this point. It's not something any intelligence professional looked to as something that could be referenced or should be referenced in any intelligence assessment whatsoever. I know that there were professionals who were told include the Steele dossier in this January Obama-directed manufactured piece of intelligence, and they protested to people like John Brennan and James Clapper. They were shocked that it would even be considered. The Steele dossier was used in this manufactured assessment that President Obama directed be created, along with many other pieces of intelligence that the intelligence community itself, for months leading up to the election, said this is not credible and should not be used at all.
Your thoughts, Keri?
I think this is one of those things. Sorry, I was looking up more stuff about it because all the articles, if you look up articles about this, all the articles are doing the thing that the leftists love to do where they invert the truth. They do the projection thing, the two Spider-Men pointing fingers at each other thing. And so in the articles about this, the headlines are subtitles have things like Trump has a long history of trying to target his political rivals. And they're trying to paint this breaking news as Trump's attempt to subvert his political enemies, which is crazy because if you listen to what she's detailing, that's the evidence they've uncovered is that that's what the Democrats were doing. Is they were targeting him for years, that they were creating these baseless charges about a Russia hoax. And they take the very things that, like a psychopath, you mentioned psychopaths and sociopaths earlier. They take the very things that they do, that they're guilty of, and then they put it on their targets and they say, our targets do these things.
Yeah, cluster B people too do that.
Yes. Yes. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we've been talking before about how there are so many like outright mentally and personality disordered people who glom onto stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's frightening because now, and not to go off on another direction, but you're seeing, like, even in how things are advertised to people, you deserve it, whether it's like an item or good for sale, or a policy that politicians want to impose. Anything that starts out with the phrase Americans deserve, the American people deserve, New Yorkers deserve, that is the language of narcissism. That's the language of disorder. Like they know how to speak to people's inflated sense of self. You know what I mean?
Advertisers do that too.
Yeah. And so when I see this thing with Obama, it makes me angry because Obama is one of those guys who played on people's desire to be on the right side of history. He played on people's desire to see I hate using their terminology, but like a person of color.
Yes.
In the Oval Office. After years of, after years of, racial injustice and white supremacy and all this other stuff and the civil rights movement and blah, 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 blah. Those things were, to see Barack Obama meant that the country was moving in the right direction. To elect Barack Obama meant that we as a people were moving in the right direction. And then he goes and does that, essentially orchestrating the entire deep state before Trump took office. That's what's being alleged. That's what was being done according to these documents released on Friday.
Yes.
Which, if true, I don't know the full evidence behind this, and I wouldn't be surprised. But if it's true, that's pretty treacherous. I mean, you're undermining the next democratically elected administration of the United States on purpose. It's almost like you're like a spy or something like that, or somebody who's or an agent that's trying to literally undermine the goals of the United States. So
I saw Matt Walsh say something. I think it was Matt Walsh that I agree with, where he was like, I really, none of this is surprising. We all knew this was happening, but it's nice to get the evidence of it, or maybe to get the evidence put out there. They say they're going to prosecute, so we'll see. But it's sort of like with the COVID. There's so many examples of this where we knew what was happening, and then later stuff comes out, like COVID origins. They lied and lied and lied and said, hey, it jumped between several species at a wet market. There's no way it came from the lab in town that studies this exact thing. It came from a wet market.
It's
Trust us.
racist to bring that up too,
Right.
by the way.
And then
But
later,
it wasn't racist to say that it's just because the crazy, nasty
Right.
foods that Chinese people eat in the wet markets.
right? What a great point. But they do this all the time, and they say, like we knew this was happening. Okay, here's another one. Facebook and Twitter and all the big social platforms censoring us. We could see it. We knew it with if your eyes were open, you knew the censorship was happening, but it was still great to have the Twitter files drop and to get evidence of it. Right. So I kind of feel that way, where I'm glad that they're saying something about it. I'm glad they say they have evidence, but I'll believe it when I see it in terms of a prosecution. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see a movement.
You ain't the only one.
It means nothing if you do nothing with it. You need to go after these people who did this. And at some point, I would like to see justice for what Fauci did to it. It's a whole nother thing, but
absolutely.
Can we start here with some of the Russian hoax stuff? Let's do it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, oh boy.
We get tired of just people who are in power are just immune to things. Like people because they're part of administration, either party, either side. Like it's like there's gotta be some accountability for doing things that really affects people like that.
Yeah. Jordan says, remember when Obama admitted the jab was experimental? Remember he tried to tell black men how to vote? Yes. Obama literally ran the show when Biden was in office. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I want to say this too, is I think another part of why maybe Obama was in DC still and doing all this stuff. Is he still in DC, by the way?
He's got property there. He's got a house there. I mean, he's got a house in Martha's Vineyard up in Massachusetts. He's got a place in Chicago still. I think he's all over the place. I mean, he made.
I know he's got money. He's worth like 200 mil or something now, right? Something like that.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, he made his money. But here's what's crazy. No. But
I just want to say, I think depending on how long he was there, I'm not sure if he was there, but even going into Biden's administration. It's it just kind of goes to show if that's the case. I'm speculating that he was just hanging out over there. It's it goes to show that how they knew from back then, perhaps, that Biden wasn't fit to be president, and he's just there to kind of puppet master that a little bit. But this is speculation. I'm not sure if that's the case.
Oh, that's absolutely the case. You know what's crazy? Vocal distance, and I gotta find this this thread that he wrote. Here we go. Because we've been curious about how these people make so much money after they leave office, right? Or in some people's case, or during, exactly.
Yeah.
And a mutual friend of ours asked this very thing, and I want to actually just share it real quick because I think it has a lot to do with what we're talking about here. Mr. Vocal Distance said the Clintons made $240 million between 2001 and 2016.
You gotta be kidding me. For the Clinton, that's from the Clinton Foundation, or that's the personal wealth?
The Clinton Global Initiative, but influence, speaking fees. That's how they made that money. They made that money just talking and working behind the scenes. Then the Clinton Global Initiative and all that. Obama did the same thing. Like the Obama has a foundation. I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Barack Obama Foundation. It's basically a money laundering outfit.
The Mike Foundation.
All these fucking nonprofits are money laundering outfits. Why do you think there's so many of them here in New York City?
Do you remember when they found out, and I think it was a leftist publication that found out that that Bono's nonprofit, which is called One, about world hunger or something, that they said it should be called One because it turns out only 1% of the money it generates goes to the people, goes to charity.
Not Bono. Oh my God. Are you serious?
The Obama Foundation.
Look up One.
Oh my God.
Only 1% of what you give makes it.
Well, that's
he's such a preachy guy too over the last several decades, and that's crazy if that's true. It really makes you. It can really make you cynical seeing all
the entire left the entire left has they. What I love about what's been going on over the last several years, particularly with the Obama administration, with Obama, Biden, the entire the entire USAID thing, which was obviously the money, the one of the vehicles used to make money disappear. USAID, absolutely they were. Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing that I love about everything that's happening right now is that the left is in an utter panic. They have never, and this is how you know these people are genuinely losing power. Once USAID got shut down and the money faucet turned off, notice how unhinged people got.
Yeah.
How full-blown, unhinged and crazy. And you started to see all the protests initially. They started off a little nuts, but then but people started to notice, even with these protests, that it was the same people popping up. It was the same people at these protests all the time. So that's how you knew that people were getting paid to essentially being paid to be there. We were talking. I was talking about Craigslist listings on Craigslist. We're paying $30 an hour. You just have to be here at this location with signs and everything, or we'll provide them to you. I'll never forget. I told a friend of mine, I was in a FedEx in Soho in Manhattan. I was like dropping off a package to a friend of mine, and I noticed in the back how they were this FedEx. They were printing up signs for protests, like Free Palestine signs in the back. Insane, like the fact, like, dude. So to kind of bring it all back together, we are currently witnessing the death of the Democratic Party, which is how you end up with these full-blown communists coming out the woodwork, like Zohran Mamdani and this new guy, this Somalian dude, what's his name, Fateh?
Yeah, Omar Fateh.
Fateh or something like that. Like this guy, like you're seeing, like they're just pulling they're pulling the shrouds off. They're no longer pretending. And that's the other thing too. George just reminded me. Sounds about white. My catchphrase. The protests were usually filled with an overwhelming demographic. Most of them were white, and most of the people in these protests were old. Like they're everybody in there's got a fucking AARP card. They're like 55 and over. Yeah.
I know some of the people who go to these things I'm friends with in real life. I've managed to stay friends with some woke people. And that's always interesting to have the kind of conversations I have on my show with people in real life. I know some people go to these protests who they went to the hands off and the No Kings. And they're all that demographic. Almost all of them. There's a few that are our age, but
so what is that like to talk to some of these people? Like what are you I really want to know, like, what are they like when they what are they like, and how what can you see goes through their mind as they're talking about this stuff?
Well, first of all, it's very rare because the people most of the time, like I said, it's cult-like, so they cut you off and they kick you out of their life. So there are some who've stayed friends with me and my husband, and I think it's a testament to. I'm going to compliment them. I think it's a testament to, at the kernel of their soul, like they are actually open-minded, and that it hasn't been completely stamped out yet, and they still have a bit of that curiosity, and it hasn't been completely stamped out by the cult yet. So I think that's true across the board for the ones who stayed friends with me. And then in terms of the conversations, though, like one of the recent ones we had in person, it was 2 nights. We were staying with them, actually. We were on a road trip, and they're very good friends. They've been very generous, and we just assumed that because they know certain things about my podcast and me. They've said things to about how I'm crazy and stuff, and I just kind of laugh it off. And so we just assumed they knew we voted for Trump. I mean, duh. But we were staying with them around the time of the hands off protests, and they were like, and we had just visited some of their friends who had been at that protest that day. And anyway, it came up, and they were shocked. They were like, "You guys voted for Trump?" And we were like, "Yeah, of course." Like, my husband's like, "Did you think we would vote for Hillary?" And so it became like a 2-hour challenging. She did get a little yelly at me. The thing is, you have to stay in that kind of conversation. In my experience, it's only done with certain people in certain contexts. I have to stay calm. I don't yell back.
Yeah.
I just challenge her with facts. And I also try and stay very open in terms of my affect. So, for example, she's like, name one thing he's done that's good,
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, I'll start with one. Is he's pushing back against sterilizing, mutilating kids in the name of trans.
That's pretty good.
Right. And so she's like, why does that one thing maybe there's one kid that and why does that one thing? And there was yelling, right? And
Like,
standing
that's
up,
just
yelling.
one thing. Oh my God. That's a pretty bad thing, guys. Sorry.
And so you have to just kind of say, well, it's not just one thing. There's actually lots of kids, and you have to kind of give information like, do you know about the president of WPATH, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, talking about how the little boys age 10 and 11 that they give puberty blockers to are chemically castrated, like they never have an orgasm for all of adulthood.
Oh my God.
And they don't know these things. And so at some point they get overwhelmed. If you're giving them facts and you're saying, well, what do you think about this? Right. Then they're like, stop it with all the facts. I don't know all these things.
Yes. Yeah. They can't believe it. They won't believe it.
But this is how these things go. And then by the end of it, my goal in this is not to yell back at them, with my tone to try and bring it back down. And if I know I'm successful, if we're able to have a conversation where at the end of it, I try and find some things we can agree on and say, well, hey, at the very least, we both believe that we're voting in the best way we know for the best person, and we want to reduce harm, and we care about people. Right. And even if it's something very basic like that, like that's the only thing you can agree on, it helps to say that out loud to them. It changes something neurologically, because you're offering them this olive branch. They're at the table with them. And so it was like 2 nights of that. And afterwards, my husband was just like, wow, like that was crazy to watch. And I'm like, he's like, but it was very contentious, and then it wasn't.
It takes a lot of discipline to do that, and a lot of control of your nervous system, because it's so easy for you to be. I mean, I know I do. I try to keep it civil, but sometimes you're just like, you just kind of start to get angry. It's like, are you saying it's either you're saying that this is definitely isn't happening, and I've seen the evidence for this, so, or you're saying you agree with it, right? You think it's not a big deal. That's not good either. And I think they feel the same way, and the biggest problem today is we have totally different facts, like we're not even close to being, a couple decades ago, most people would look at New York Times or CNN, or even not, maybe just a decade ago. But increasingly it's like, it's so polarized, and such, we're in such bubbles that people, the left will not, Democrats will not see any of this information. It's totally, they're like, what?
They won't.
They're like, oh, you must be reading or watching crazy right-wing conspiracy theories that we've heard about from Russian bots, from Chinese bots. I think that's immediately where it goes to, because like, that can't be happening. That's not happening.
But
or what, did it happen once?
Yes, like that, like one person. But they that's why they also, if you give enough facts and you do so calmly, you can't be, at least in my experience, I try not to be like, oh, I'm smarter than you and I know this. You don't know that, I try and say like, well, hey, did you guys know about this? I heard about this, kind of like very non-aggressive, right? And giving the information. But even if you do it that way, after you give enough facts, they get so uncomfortable, because you're shaking the foundation of their
Cognitive
belief
dissonance.
system. Yeah. So they're like, stop it.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear anymore. They say that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen it, and honestly, I think the
Yeah.
implication is in their heads, like me, I'm like, I can't be on the wrong side, right? I'm not.
Yes.
So by putting, or I'm not a bad person. I mean, it sounds like I'm actually a bad person. I'm supporting crazy things, harming children and women or whatever. So I think what you do at the end of that by like, you know, giving them the olive branch, like, oh, I know you're a good person. I know you mean well. I know you know, I see your concerns. That makes them like, okay. They still
And
think
they
I'm a good person.
also,
Yes.
and I also acknowledge what they think about me, because I know they think
Yeah.
all
Oh,
the
yeah.
things. They think I'm supporting an evil ideology
You're a
and
Nazi.
evil politics.
Yeah.
They think I'm, and so I always say to them, like, you try and give even more grace than if this is a person you care about and you know in real life, then I will say, like, truly, thank you so much for even being willing to talk about this with me, because I know from your perspective, you don't understand us at all, and you think we're voting for an evil Nazi, right?
I kind of felt like that. I kind of felt like that when we had what's his name, Danny Pearlstein, on our show a couple months ago. Danny Pearlstein is the comms guy for, I believe, Riders Alliance. He is a communist, as soft spoken as he was, right? And he claimed, you know, he seemed like a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
And I you know, give him credit for coming onto a show in hostile territory. I mean, it's one thing to speak amongst friends.
Yeah.
But it's another thing entirely when people of opposing views come on to shows like this, where, you know, where they're not going to be given the same kind of quarter like they would from, say, an Errol Lewis on New York One, right? Like,
and the internet's forever too,
right?
So
And
if they get spanked in a debate, that's forever.
But I'll be honest with you, Keri, if there's one thing that I don't have, I'm going to admit a weakness tonight. I am not good when it, like, talking to certain people that, like, well, I shouldn't say that. I can talk to someone civilly and have a nice discourse with people who I don't agree with.
Right.
I've had had great conversations with people, some of whom are like really good friends. But when it comes to these nasty ones, these people who they say things that they know would get them a surprise jaw realignment, and they say this stuff and they know that saying it, like, they want that reaction. And it's one thing for, I guess what I'm trying to say is, my patience with certain people, with like the yelling and the screaming and the general nastiness that people can display, I don't have much patience for that. Like, I just don't. So I commend.
I agree.
But how would I? But like, how should I, as someone who wants to have more conversations, you know, with people who we don't necessarily agree, but, you know, trying to win them to our side, as it were, how would I go about doing that?
Well, I believe as a Christian, we're all uniquely, like, situated and talented in different ways. Like they talk about the body of Christ, right? Like, we're all different parts of the body of Christ, the hands and feet of God, right? And so some people, first of all, when I talk to people about this on my show, I say this because some people are like, I don't want to have conversations with people who disagree with me. I'm like, fine, you don't have to. Maybe your talent is something else. But if you do want to do that, it's not every person. It's context driven, because, like you said, Isaiah, some of them are hateful. They're almost demonic, like almost possessed. And, you know, they're like my friends who I mentioned. Yes, she was screaming at one point, but even when she was screaming, it was different than like when I've had a leftist scream at me at a protest, who is like full of like seemingly like a demon. It's very different than that. And so I think it's easiest with people that you have some kind of relationship with already, a friendship or something, like in the case of these friends, where you love each other and you know each other's heart, and they're in the cult, but they're not so far in the cult that they're willing to cut contact with you. That tells me there's an open-mindedness there. And the other thing I would say is we're not supposed to be carpets for people to walk on. So God doesn't call us to be pathetic, abuse me, sure, be horrible. No, that's not what Turn the Other Cheek is about. And so I think that
I'm so glad you said that.
There are some people who are not worth it unless there's an audience watching and it's worth it for the sake of the audience. Maybe there's people in the audience whose mind you can change.
Correct.
And so in that case, I will do it. Like one time I was at a Women Leaving the Left event in Austin. It was me, Megan Murphy, Mary Lou Singleton, a bunch of women. And it was surrounded by leftist Antifa people with signs screaming, banging on the walls. The cops wouldn't do anything. They were intimidating all the ticket buyers. And I went out there and was just kind of filming some of them. And two of them were being very abusive verbally and just being nasty to me. And I kind of laughed and said stuff back to them, not screaming, I didn't return their energy, but I engaged for the sake of the audience who would see this. Do you know what I mean? To see more of it. So that in that case, then yes. But if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have given those two demon-possessed women my time. God says, don't throw your pearls before swine. You need to know when to shake the dust from your feet and keep going. And so not everybody is worth your time. They're, putting your pearls out there. In the case of my friends who I mentioned, we've known them for a long time. Like I said, they're very outside of politics, very kind, generous, gracious people. And so it's just this one topic where, for me, it's worth it because of who they are. And I know their heart, and they know my heart well enough that they let us come stay with them, even thinking that I have a crazy, quote unquote, crazy podcast.
That's great. No, those are good friends though.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. I think even more tough. It seems like it's tougher for the left to do this. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's like because they tend to be a little bit more effeminate, I think is a thing that maybe could be a reason why they're like more like mean girl about it, like pushing people out of it. When I think men and traditionally we are usually, if you're more masculine at least, you're able to be like, oh yeah, we make jokes about it. Look at this guy, look at this uptight Republican or something. Like back in the day, people would say that, and like they'd make fun of the Democrats or welfare queens, whatever. And you could still be friends and stuff. But I think now, you got like the mean girl thing, and you get men being like that too on the left, who are like very intolerant of like they can't joke around, no sense of humor. And I don't know if that's, I think that's part of it.
Nick, can I tell you one that I'm not pleased about? And who knows? This is a person who, out of the blue, I've never met this person, but he's a long time friend of my husband's. And he is a leftist, and he on our anniversary, he's also an alcoholic. I don't care. I'll just say it. He is. I used to be an alcoholic. We you can.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You can leave that. But he got really drunk in the middle of the night and posted on my husband's anniversary post about our wedding that your wife is a fascist cunt and all this stuff. Yes.
I know a guy like that too, by the way.
Full drunk, crazy stuff. And then on his wall was like, death to all fascists, after having just called me and my husband that. So it's like, you want us dead? And this kind of guy later on, kind of did a halfway apology. Not really, not to me, but to my husband about what he had said. And it was like, but really, your wife is she's a right-wing influence or whatever that means. And he was like, but I'm sure if I met her in person, it'd be fine. And I was sitting there thinking about that later. I'm like, I don't know if it would be fine. Like, I can excuse a lot, but you called me to see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, and I need a much bigger apology than that.
Christ.
Not a half-assed apology like you. Like, I mean, I've had people like that I know personally. Like, I won't give much more details, but they're, they they would do the same. Did the same thing. This one guy did the same thing. He has a problem drinking and sending like dark messages to people. And I think he just like, you can get so drunk and brown out and or black out, and you just like, I really do think like the devil takes over your brain or something at that point, and he's just like saying dark things. And he's been doing that for like a long time. And it wasn't about, we used to have the same politics. Like he was on the left, and he would just say weird shit, like almost talks like, why you look like that in your picture? It's fucking weird or something. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I asked him, he's like, oh, sorry, man, I don't know what I was saying.
I was drunk.
He did it recently because like, I'd be posting, anti woke shit, and he's like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with you? What do you think? And like he would just like say the worst things about you, basically call you a fascist and a Nazi. And they don't really apologize very profusely after saying all that stuff. And I give him my reasoning. And like, people like that, I agree. It's like, you know what? Like I've heard like somebody else like that say like, I hope he drives off a bridge because of what he believes. And it's like, well, you're wishing death on me, and it's like, and it's for what? Because I'm trying to protect kids from trans ideology. Like, that's it. I don't hate trans people. I don't hate, I don't hate gay people. I don't hate, but they think that's the only thing they'll hear about. That's the only way they'll take it, is like, you just hate LGBTQ people. And it's like, nope, not at all. I'm trying to protect kids, trying to protect women.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of past that. No, I'm past that.
Yeah.
And maybe, and here's why I say that. When you started coming after the kids, see, it was one thing when you were trying to police people's dating and sexual lives, right? When these people tried to say, well, you have to be okay with not knowing what genitals were in people's pants as you go out and date. You have to be okay with that. People were they were actually saying that. It's one thing to say that, right? It's one thing to walk around and get the surgeries and the wrong sex hormones. You can do all of that bastardization to your own body, right? And no one would have, people wouldn't have said a thing. Okay? People would have been maybe a little bit more accepting. Maybe if you had just left the fucking kids alone.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
If these people had just left the kids alone, if they hadn't started to put that dogma, that queer theory dogma into our schools, if they hadn't started pushing all of these abominable surgeries on children, prepubescent children, with the puberty blockers and the wrong, like, you're injecting children with the same shit that they put in sex offenders.
Yep. It's not FDA approved.
Not FDA approved at all. But yet you have the audacity to come to me and say, I don't want this happening to children. I've seen the images of double mastectomies and inverted abominations of female genitalia. I've seen this stuff over the last several years.
Yeah, kids' arms getting cut open like gyros, skiers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you've got there are images out there with whole arms. I'm talking about the bones sticking out, and you have the audacity to come to me and be like, well, you just hate this group of people. You know what? No, but I hate you. Ooh. I hate you for what you've done to these kids. I hate you for what for pushing this abomination onto the. I hate you for bringing this demonic. For bringing this shit from the pits of hell. You brought this stuff. You made the vile machinations of Judith Butler and Michelle Foucault and all of these other people. The names go on and on. I hate that. You brought that ideology. You brought this cult shit to the fore.
And Isaiah, I will add to that, most of them who are pushing it, like they have no idea that the people you meet out and about. I'm not talking about the academics who push it, but the everyday people who've gotten in with this cult and push it, like this friend who messaged my husband in the middle of the night, that they don't even know where it comes from. They don't even know what cult they're in. They don't even know, like the queer theory that has trickled down to the street now, right? Or to Facebook, right? The queer theory, if you read it, they're explicit that one of their goals is to do away with the age of consent. Like they are pro sexual abuse of children. They say children are an oppressed class that needs to be liberated to be able to have sexual freedom. This is all they don't even hide it. And so that's where it's heading. It's always been aimed towards that. And these gullible idiots who want to talk about, gender affirming care for kids and stuff, and then try and take the moral high ground and say they care about these kids. And it's like, you don't even care enough about them to do the research and know what's happening. Like to even know about what WPATH is or anything. You don't know.
And they won't even look at it when you spoon feed it to them. Have you noticed that? You say, hey, did you read this article? Look at this picture. Let me know if it's fake. Can you prove it's fake? I mean, whatever. They won't look at it. There's like, they just ignore it. They get mad. It's like, yo, do just look at what I am upset about, not what you think or you want me to be upset about, or what you want to imagine is what I'm upset about. That I just hate gay people or trans people. The only way they look at it, it's very simplistic usually, is that they just think all of this is a continuation of gay rights. LGBTQ is like the same thing. Of course, it's not. That whole thing, those are all different groups of people and different categories. And they just think it's a continuation of we're supporting gay people. It's like, no. Now you're supporting indoctrinating kids and things that will inevitably often lead to them getting sterilized or getting castrated and mutilated. That's what and then they're going to commit suicide because, and they say they're going to commit suicide because there's so much trans hate, when it probably is. It's hard to find a date when you look like Isaiah, but you are wearing a wig and makeup, or me with a beard and
a wig.
Yes, and a wig and some makeup, and you're trying to get a date with your fake infected vagina. So that is the fucking fact. And if you've ever wanted to have kids, I guess you're a transphobe because you don't want to choose a fake woman who can never have kids. It's like, it's unbelievable.
I have so many friends. So here's one thing I like to do with people who don't understand it, Nick, who push, like you said, how do you talk to people who disagree, right? So some of these conversations I've had in real life with people about this is I will say to them, do you not know any gay or trans people who are against doing this to kids? And I do what they do, because they always play like you're on their side and they have the normal, like they are with it and they're not with it. So I do the other thing. I'm like, it's 2025. Like you don't know, you don't know any gay people or trans people who don't agree with this. And they're like, I don't, and you're like, there's tons of them. Like, do you want me to introduce you to some?
That's
like,
smart.
And so then you kind of open it up to like, you kind of do the game they do. Yes. Are you that uncool? Like you only know, and then you're like, I have lots of personal friends, some of who would be willing to talk to you. I also have friends, people I've interviewed who are public people who I can send you their videos if you want. And so I try and do that because they believe, like you guys said at the beginning, that everybody who's gay has the same opinion. Everybody who's black has the same opinion. Everybody, it's all about the identity thing, right? So I try and first shatter that by sending them interviews I've done with gay and trans people who are not on board with this. And sometimes, like you said, okay, the more open and honest ones will watch it. And that starts a conversation. But some of them are so closed off, they'll be like, I'm not going to watch your links. They'll get really angry. And I'm like, why not? This is a trans person. I thought you would, you're sitting here speaking on behalf of trans people. You're not even trans. Here's a trans person who disagrees with you. You won't listen to them?
I imagine they probably also sometimes just tell themselves again that it's propaganda. It's not real. It's Russian stuff or MAGA.
It's crazy, but it's like, but I know these.
I hope so. Otherwise, they're just like willfully like, you know what? I didn't just see that. I'm going to put my head in the dirt.
And I've met personally 2 friends who detransitioned, who are not public people, but who've gone through that whole process. And, like it's affected so many people now. Given how, like, why are there so many people that I personally know too? And I'm not talking about people I've interviewed, that I count them separate, public people. Why is that? Like, there's that many people that have been touched by it and who are leaving it and who are saying this was wrong, and I feel robbed, So I don't know.
I also just see, I on top of like, that, I mean, I've seen so many more trans or non-binary people in public now, like in grocery stores. Every time I go to grocery store, I see at least one, which is like, that's interesting because I've never seen anybody like that before. I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, or maybe if I went to like a gay bar or something, maybe I'd see something like that. But or definitely not 20 years ago, definitely not when I was in high school. Nobody was trans. Nobody said there's very few people said they're gay. But now everywhere I go, I see I could probably, if I go in public, I probably see 1 or 2 people, like a big guy with like purple hair and trying to look pretty and look like a girl and jewelry. And, he's trans or non-binary, I assume, or some kind of queer femme type of thing. And it's like, how is this happening?
I live in New York City.
Yeah, New York's had a lot of them. Yeah.
Here in New York, Jesus Christ, we've got they are all over the place.
Yeah, surely something's going on. It's not just a natural phenomena.
No, because, again, as you see,
the indoctrination.
I maintain, again, like I said earlier, these people are losing power.
Yes.
They're losing power. They know they have lost. And it's like they've lost. They never really had mainstream culture, okay? For one very important reason. Most of these people come from, if you look at like the demographics of everyone who practices in the gender cult, we're talking about 2/3 of 1% of people throughout the total population of the United States. Within that 2/3 of 1%, it is overwhelmingly, like to the tune of 85 or so percent, it is 85% white. The financial demographics of these people are almost always upper middle class or affluent. Yeah. So we're talking about people who are hand built to have what? Luxury beliefs.
Yes.
Luxury beliefs. I'm a middle class. I got a union job. I go to work every day, right? Monday through Friday. Like when I'm not doing this, Monday through Friday, I go to work, man. I don't have the luxury of wondering what color my hair is going to be on a given day, or what pronouns I'm going to use, because I'm trying to go to fucking work. Okay,
real problems.
We got real problems. I'm getting married next week. Okay,
you got a socialist about to be mayor.
We got who strangely enough is going on some weird trip. That's a weird one. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, he's going to Uganda.
But the fact of the matter, my point is,
you don't have time.
No one has the time. No real person with things going on in there, with real things going on in their lives, no one has the patience to deal with this shit. But yet, for some odd reason, and again, for some odd reason, this was made the civil rights movement of our time. This was made, and like I said, they never had the culture to begin with. They never had the mainstream culture, but they had the C-suites, they had the bureaucrat class, they had the corporations, the banks, the media outlets. They had everybody who was already in their financial and social brackets.
And they Trojan horsed it with the gay rights. Because they had that already. They won the culture war with the gay marriage stuff, and I agree with that. I think gay people should be allowed to get married. They should have the same rights. Like, I don't see that's not an issue. Like, as long as they're adults, whatever. And I think they just kind of Trojan horse that in with the LGBTQ plus. So that's how they did it. And everybody's like, well, we're still supporting LGBTQ, right? That's all the Democrats are saying, I assume, on the left.
You want to
So
know
they're
how?
like, of course we are. We're not against gay people. It's not about gay people anymore, guys.
They ratchet it up, and they're going to keep doing it until. Here's what I would say to a leftist, and trust me, 15 years ago, if somebody had told you that you would be supporting cutting kids' genitals off and giving them hormones that sterilize them, you would have said, "No way, I'm not going to support that." And yet, here you are. Here you are. So stay in that cult you're in, and I guarantee you, in 15 years, give it another 15, you're going to be justifying sexual abuse of kids because hey, they're oppressed.
They're already doing it.
Yeah, and we need to give them freedom to
make to destigmatize them.
They're already doing it.
Yeah.
The second I started seeing that MAP, that map term, minor attractive. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, up, here we go. We're already there. I do want to ask you real quick before we go, because I know you saw this. What do you think of Stephen Colbert getting shit canned?
That show is still on. Who watches that crap? I'm kidding.
Oh my god!
No, you're not.
That is the right question.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not, Keri. You were in that space. So no, you're not.
Here's what I have to say about Stephen Colbert. First of all, I have a picture sitting at his desk. Back when I worked in entertainment, I got to go to the show a few times when we were in New York, but working on our show. And I had friends who worked on that show, and that's kind of funny now, all these years later, to have that picture. But anyway, he's from South Carolina. He was very promising. I'm from South Carolina, so that means a lot to me. I'm like, yay, SC, right? But at the beginning, he was very promising. When he was on The Daily Show, the character he played, and then when he spun off into the Colbert Report, was very similar. It was sort of like he was doing like it was a mockumentary style, like Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, he was a Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah,
he was hilarious.
And it was really funny.
I loved him. Yeah, he was.
And
hilarious.
then over time, he dropped that persona, and he just became like all the rest of them. Just sitting up there reading lines, bashing Republicans, bashing Trump, bashing anyone conservative, bashing anyone Christian, pushing all the leftist crap, pushing trans and kids, the vax dancing, the vaccine dance. Yeah. Oh, like that's one of the grossest things I've ever seen. In the knitting world, he cheered and celebrated when they banned all Trump voters from Ravelry, which was the biggest knitting platform. He cheered that kind of censorship on his show. Like he just fell off so hard. And it's a real disappointment because I was so proud of him being from South Carolina and seeing how funny he was. And he is a testament to what I said at the beginning of the show, which is the longer you stay in that cult, the less funny you get.
Yeah. Well, you need the truth on your side. That's the thing. You need the truth on your side to be funny. You need at least a good dosage of truth, at least. Some of it's a joke, some of it's exaggeration, but if you don't have the truth anymore, it's like you're joking about something that's not real at all. Like there's no foundation for it at all. I think, Colbert was a very talented, very funny guy as a Colbert Report. I was so impressed with how he would interview people and he would just be off the cuff. A funny Bill O'Reilly. I was like, well, this guy is very quick. And I was really happy when he came, and I think it was probably still liberal. I think maybe when he finally got the Tonight Show, I'm like, that's perfect. He's the perfect guy for that. He's so quick. He's he'll be hilarious. And I was I think I watched the first episode or two, and I'm like, this is not very funny at all. And it wasn't even political yet. He just changed. It was like he's being himself, and he was like kind of like a neutered, kind of like a effeminate Democrat guy or something. And I'm like, where's the wise ass quick Colbert? Yeah. Like where did he go? I don't know. He never showed up. I don't think he never showed up. All that
bravado from the Colbert Report went away.
Yeah, he was
all that fake bravado.
Guys, watch I just want to say, Isaiah, real quick. Watch his reaction to Trump winning the election in 2024. It is sad.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see it? It is so unfunny. He's trying to be funny, and that's not just him; it's his writers. It's so sad. It's so bitchy. It's so exaggerated, hysterical, and we're the resistance. It's like, and Kimmel too. It's
Kimmel
like, what?
Men. Kimmel cried.
Bill
like
Maher is the way to be if you're going to be
on national television.
Bill Maher.
Jimmy Kimmel cried like a bitch on national television.
Pathetic.
And I never I never thought this was
embarrassing.
And my
to the View, man.
My memory of my first memory of Jimmy Kimmel was The Man Show.
Man
What he
Show.
did with Adam Carolla.
Oh
So
man,
you
and
go
that
from-
show did not age well in the
You go
Me Too
from
woke world. Let me tell you,
you
man.
go from Siggy Sacky, hoy, 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 to crying like a bitch because your political candidate didn't win.
It's
Also,
crazy.
let's not forget how many times Jimmy Kimmel has done blackface.
I was going to say
A
Karl
number
Malone.
of times. He's like
Oh,
always.
you know that. You know that, Isaiah, right? You know
I
Karl
did
Malone.
not know
didn't?
that. No,
You might want to bring that up, bro. You might
More
wanna bring
than
it up.
once. He did it a few times.
Is he the American Justin Trudeau?
Yeah.
On the Man Show, he did
shit.
Karl Malone. Karl Malone, it was pretty
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
too. It was
yeah.
a good impression.
Well, listen, when it comes to blackface, I'm like, look, if you're gonna do it right, if you're gonna do it, make sure you do it right.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He also
He
did
went full
Oprah.
retard, man. Never go full retard. That was Tropic Thunder. Just real quick, Tropic Thunder was one of the greatest comedy films of all time. Go ahead, Keri. Sorry about that.
Oh no, I was just laughing because look, if you're playing a character and you're a comedian, we've always understood that that's different because you're playing the character.
Exactly.
And but the leftists started crucifying anybody who ever did it, even comedians who were in character, as if you can't like wear makeup or a different hair or something to play a different race. And so all we're doing is holding him to the same rules that they put on other and showing, hey, you break your own rules. You guys always break your own rules.
Always.
Because he did it to play Karl Malone. He also did it to play Oprah.
Oh, he did? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got to see that. I want to watch that.
Oh, I'm going to see that.
And so it's
Chappelle did
funny.
it too.
Like,
Chappelle did it as a white guy. He had a really hilarious Chuck Taylor or whatever.
Yes.
Hilarious. And he's like white as hell. He's got like powder on him.
Have you guys ever seen have you ever seen the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington? It's a gangster film, a mobster film.
Frank
Lucas.
Frank Lucas, yes.
Okay.
Oh, American Gangster?
American Gangster, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of early 2000s gangster film.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character in that movie who one of the guys, and it's a period film, it's set in the 70s, right? There's a character in that movie, somebody in his crime family, who looks like Dave Chappelle playing a white guy.
No.
Go back and watch it now.
Oh
I was watching with my husband. I was like, that looks like, who is that? That black guy looks like Dave Chappelle playing a white guy.
That's funny. Oh my God.
Like,
actually, I think I know what you're talking about now.
He's like in the family, but every time I saw him, I would crack up, like, because Dave Chappelle he always had that mustache when he played a white guy.
Oh my God.
He's funny, man. His white face is hilarious, dude.
Yo.
Like Ned Flanders. He always had like his eyebrows.
He had this
hustler. Yeah.
He had this very serious like voice that he kept using. Whereas like this is what we're doing. Like how are the blacks spending their reparations money?
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's so
Keri, this has been an absolute as I know you have to go pretty soon.
Hey,
But
do you have time to see something funny before I go?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
Okay, since we were talking about my comedy, my old life. Now, I haven't thought about a lot of this stuff in a long time, but I recently had to pull up for this resume, this thing I was doing. I had to pull up some old clips. I'm sending you in the private chat a trailer for a comedy movie that we made called Thugs the Musical. And this is just the trailer. The film itself was like 20 something minutes long. Okay.
Oh dear.
You got to play this. I want to see if I would. Now, this was proto woke. It was like before woke.
I see.
But we're kind of making fun of the fact that at this time, and this was true, a lot of times if you were a black actor and you wanted to go in for a role, it would always be for gangsters or thugs. And so we had, so the movie is about all these black actors who don't fit the stereotype, who are trying to get more roles. So they do a musical called Thugs the Musical to show that they can play thugs.
Let's do this.
That's a smart angle.
We absolutely can.
Let's watch this.
Let me just bring it up. Boom. Okay, so Whitesmith Entertainment.
That was my company.
This is gonna be great. Hold on a second. We've got the lady who put
Keri
this
Smith's
together.
comedy days.
This is Keri Smith's comedy here. Hold on.
My name is Michael Gardner, and I'm a black actor.
Because when I whip out my 9, son, it's going to be on up in this bitch. It's going to be on up in this bitch.
Basically, I realized I needed to show the industry, hey, I'm a black actor. I can act black. Which is why I created Thugs, the musical.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No.
Turn out the lights. Bust a cap. It's a drive-by.
My name is Michael Gardner.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I didn't mean to restart it. Oh my god.
Thugs, musical.
Oh my god. This is
Car
great.
in neutral. Turn out the lights. Bust a cap. It's a drive-by.
So, I just got the one
Wow.
line, and I'm actually playing a black guy for the first time.
Yeah, no, that was good. Just make it bigger.
It's like it really talk about what it's like in the hood, you know. Once you feeling froggish, now you feeling froggish, then jump. Once you jump, go ahead, jump.
If you're British and black in Hollywood, you have to be able to nail the American accent. Roll on these blues. Don't shout. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? That's real talk.
Idris Elba over there in The Wire.
Idris. Oh no.
Stringer Bell.
Yeah, Stringer Bell.
He did a great job. I'm not talking shit.
This nigga got a gun now. All your
David Allen Greer.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull the trigger. Nigga, break your leg.
Oh no.
Is there a whole movie?
It's the 20.
Oh
It's like
my
26 minutes. It's
God.
a short film. I'll send you the full movie.
I might want to watch that actually.
Oh my
I'm gonna watch that
god.
later.
We had so much fun.
That's a lot of. That's a great. That's funny. That's funny.
That's gonna be. Oh God, I can't wait to watch this.
It's funny. It's so
cannot wait
true
to
too
watch
because there are a
this.
bunch of like kind of like theater
Nerdy
kids,
theater
nerdy
kids.
theater kids.
John
That's probably
Boyega.
often what it is. Yeah.
John Boyega.
Yeah.
The kid that played
Star Wars.
yeah
Poe?
yeah
Not
he
Poe.
one of them.
I forget his name.
Who's the other one? Who's the other one? The guy who's like he's British and he played Black Panther. He was in Black Panther.
Oh, I don't know his name.
I think he played and he's British.
Not the guy who died.
No.
Not
Not Chadwick. Not Chadwick.
Not Chadwick. Yeah. Chadwick.
Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick. Yeah. I miss
But
him.
no, I can't remember his name. I can't remember who he was. I think he played
Daniel Kaluuya.
him.
I
He
just
was
looked it up.
he was in the movie Get Out also. And again,
I've seen
you
Get
wouldn't
Out,
be able
too.
to Get Out was Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah. I know who this is. Yeah.
That
Okay.
is a dark guy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That is a dark guy. Like I
He's
saw
crazy.
Get Out, and I think I saw one more of those movies. Like holy shit. Anyways, Keri,
Yes. I've never shown that on any interview I've ever done. So thanks for letting me show it. I was like,
Oh
this
yeah,
might be
that was
funny
great.
to
oh
That was
my
today. That was good.
god,
I'm glad you did.
that was fantastic.
Well done, man.
And we gotta find this. Keri, what are you working on right now, dear? You have the floor. What are you working on? How can people reach you? What you got going on?
Well, I took some time off recently for a surgery about 5 weeks ago, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So the past month, my channel was very light, but I'm back to it. I have a brand new interview that just came out with Paul Brown, who's the CEO and founder of Wasson Watch Co. And you
I
may
saw
recognize
him.
his name because he's pretty based Christian conservative who's been speaking against the woke right elements that we've been
Okay.
talking about. He
Yeah.
also speaks loudly against woke left, and he's speaking loudly against woke right. And interviewing
Good
him
man.
was a real treat because he was the real deal. You never know when you meet somebody like, what's this guy going to be like? He was the real deal. And so go check out the interview with Paul Brown. My channel's called Deprogrammed. If you have leftists in your life who don't understand your opinions, or maybe friends and family, I'm trying to do more clips so you can find clips to send them, because some of the longer videos they're not going to watch, of course. And but that's my goal with it. And yeah, go check it out. And my husband has a new album out. Can I plug my husband?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
Anthony Garcia Music. There you go.
Anthony
It's
Garcia.
beautiful.
Anthony Garcia
Okay.
Music.
What
But
kind of
don't-
music is it? What kind of music is it, Keri?
Well, his band is Los Diablos Tejanos, is like old country and Spanish guitar kind of music,
cool.
Americana. But the new album is not that. The new album is all piano. He's classically trained in piano,
wow.
so the new album is very different, and it's like a soundtrack to a movie. It's just beautiful.
What's what's his website?
AnthonyGarciaMusic.com.
Hold on, I'll put a.
I have a big crush on my husband. I'm very proud of his new album. So go
Music's
check it
awesome.
out.
I'm a musician too. Musicians get all the girls. Let me tell you.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what?
I was a
Anthony,
musician,
is
let's put it
that
that way.
correct? Is that correct, Keri?
Well, he's the first
banner?
musician I dated, but let me tell you, when I met him, there were lots of music floozies little.
Oh no,
you
he
know,
means
floating
the
around.
link.
No. The link.
Oh, that's the right link. Oh,
Okay.
I thought
Hey,
You don't have to go into his history.
no.
no. I was like,
listen.
look, I'm not gonna be a music floozy.
Yeah, you have to commit to
I'm
this one.
gonna be a music wife. God damn it!
I'm a music wife. Groupie to wife.
There you go, Keri. I love you, dear. Thank you so
Thank you guys.
much
Hey, one
for
thing.
coming on.
One more
Yeah.
thing before
Hold
we
up.
go. I just want to say, do you know what kind of butterfly that is behind you?
What?
Is that?
Oh,
Oh,
The one behind you, the one you have on the
Behind
wall.
not anymore,
Over
but it's
your-
written
over
on
your
the
left
back.
shoulder.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's a blue morpho butterfly. They're huge.
Morpho.
Yeah, they're in Costa Rica. I seen them in the jungle there in Monteverde. They're awesome.
I've
Like
had
they-
this since I was like 10 years old.
Oh yeah, if you ever go to Costa Rica, you go to Monteverde. It's beautiful, and make sure you go in season because I'm not sure if they're always there, but you should see them in one of the trails. You'll just see this big flashing, like blue flashing like wings. It's really beautiful.
Wow, thank you so much.
I'll see if I can find a video and I'll send it to
Send
you
it
if I
to
can
me.
find it. Yeah, it's really
wow.
good.
Well,
But anyway, sorry, I
Keri-
interrupted the goodbye, the farewell.
no, Keri, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on.
guys.
What was that?
One last thing.
Yes.
I check out. I know you've been promoting your wedding fund, but also I checked out your Amazon list, and I will say for anyone curious, he has some all different price ranges. There's affordable and more luxurious items. So go check out the list. There you go.
Thank
No
you.
excuses, everybody.
Thank you.
Get him a
Thank you
gift.
so
Bye.
much, Keri. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Keri.
Have
You
a
gotta do
great
this again
night.
one day.
Yo, she's the real fucking deal.
She's awesome. Yeah,
She's
that
the
was a lot of
real
fun.
deal. Oh man.
She's
Keri.
one of the OGs too. She's one of the OG anti-woke girls, people in general. I remember her from back in the day. I think she said she was doing, and I listened to some old podcasts of her too. She, I think she was one of the first to come out as an apostate, really, actually.
Wow.
I think something, she wrote like some kind of article like why I'm leaving the Democrats or why I'm no longer progressive, something like that. We have to look it up. And like I think Jordan Peterson interviewed her and also like featured her story or her article or something like that in his YouTube channel. So like she's been around like since at least since 2016, I think, fighting that fight.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong with any of that, Keri, but I think that's the case.
Well, this has been a fantastic, fantastic article. I'm sorry, fantastic article. I'm not talking about fantastic episode.
Sure was.
There is something. Well, it ain't quite over yet because there's something I've been. I went off about this earlier in the week, but since we're here on the show, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna get after it again. Barack Obama pissed me off, and not just with essentially coming out or being exposed as the king of the deep state. Okay, he said something in trying to come out as like this, they telling Democrats that they need to toughen up and talk to, and try to reach, young men. This guy goes and says one of the shittiest things I've ever seen. Okay, and I'm gonna play this initial part because I put this video together, but I'm only gonna play like the part that matters. Okay, so let me just do this so people have context as to why I'm just been seething. Because Obama pissed me all the way off with this. Okay, let me see. Is this correct? Yeah, this is right. This is right. Yeah, here we go. Pull this up.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm. One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right?
Non-binary. Good fucking God.
You know what? Fuck this guy. I'll say it again. Fuck Barack Obama. Fuck Barack Obama. And I'm saying this I'm leaning into this as a black man, as someone who voted for Barack Obama, as someone who believed him to be I actually believed him to be like the best of us, right? The best of black men. Beautiful wife, beautiful kids. You know, Barack had that Cosby Show affect. The Cosby Show was Bill Cosby's greatest masterpiece. And Cosby had great shows over the years. A Different World, just lots of good stuff. One of the funniest stand-up comedians I've ever watched. So I feel like with Barack Obama, he kind of, capitalized on some of that, right? This this notion of this black nuclear family, heterosexual black nuclear family. And he snookered the shit out of black people. I remember when people were when people were noticing back in 2008 and 2009 when his presidency first started going. I'll never forget listening to and agreeing with Steve Harvey when he said that Barack Obama was not supposed to be just the president of the hood. When black people were saying back then that he wasn't even thinking about what black people needed. Okay. I remember when Tavis Smiley back in the day made him and Michelle Obama persona non grata. Okay, I'm going deep into I'm talking like 2008. We're going back over 15 years. Everything about Barack Obama was a fraud because he didn't care about black people. He deported more people. He deported more illegal immigrants than then Trump, Bush 43, Clinton. No. Obama was the one who did all that.
Based Obama.
To listen, yeah, the only fucking thing he did that was based. And so to listen to this sanctimonious know-it-all motherfucker talk to black people, talk about boys needing gay men, gay friends as mascots to teach them empathy. I think to myself, why would you say that a boy would need a gay male friend, like outside of the boy's father? What possible reason could one have for wanting that? Now, I'm saying this as someone with gay friends. Okay, I got a lot. I got a few gay friends, gay co-workers, the whole bit, who I love very much. The idea that Barack Obama, the idea that this guy basically said, I have to keep a gay like a purse dog in my like a mascot to teach me empathy when when I'm lacking it, is about as racist as saying you need a black guy, to do some heavy lifting. Oh, you need a black guy when you go to Jamaica because you've heard that they've got 10-inch penises. And I want to get piped down before, for the first time. Like, I'm gonna keep him. He's a Mandingo warrior or some shit, right? It's that kind of racist bullshit. Oh, I just need you around if I need some watermelon. That type of ignorant shit. This tokenization, like black people. Like this notion that we need gay tokens in our lives. Would you say that shit to a white man about needing a black person as a token?
I'm sure the left would.
The left says it all the fucking time.
Yeah, they say it all the time.
The left says it all the fucking time. I mean, think about it. One of the things that got black people sucked into the Democrat Party was when they said black women were the backbone of the Democrat Party. Remember that? Remember this was back in the Obama era. They were like, black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And I'm thinking to myself, you're literally you're gloating about using black women as mules for your agenda. You are literally gloating about using black women as your mules, because what do mules do? They carry a lot of shit. Where do they carry their shit? On their backs.
Beast the burden.
You basically said that white people need black women, that white liberals, white leftists need black people to head their movements. To essentially be what I've called before color legitimacy. So now Barack is saying, well, if you have a teenage boy, he kind of needs some perspective outside of his father. I'm not I'm an uncle. If God wills, I'll be a father one day, hopefully soon. But I've got nephews, right? My oldest nephew, Justin, is 15 years old. He'll be 16 in October. My nephew Jamal is around the same age. That was who Barack was trying to reach in that moment. Teenage boys. So my question is, why do teenage boys need a gay male friend in their lives? A gay male adult friend. Why do they need that? I'm serious. Like why? But what bothers me, the first thing that bothered me was, why do you want other men to have access to your child, to your boy? And why do you want them to give perspective on the father?
Yeah, that was interesting.
You know what that was, Nick? And I'm taking this very, very seriously. I say this with I'm not shrinking from this. And this is far less like, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs like I was last week. Barack Obama made an argument for pederasty. Barack Obama was making an argument for pederasty. Yes, I'm saying it right now. Because they used to do that pederasty shit in ancient Rome, where essentially, you know, a boy of like 14, 15 years old would be sent off to live with, I guess, one of the nobles or whatever, or somebody who was going to take him under his wing as an apprentice. And essentially he would get, you know, statutoried during that time while he was learning his trade.
Yeesh.
And I'm probably botching the explanation of pederasty, but it's close to that, right? The fact that the former president of the United States, who for all intents and purposes is the king of the deep state, for him to say that lets me know that he really might just be to blame for the entirety of the last, what are we now, 2025, the last 17 years. I believe, but I actually believe now that objectively that Barack Obama is the cause of all the division. He is the cause of all the racism. He is the cause of all the anti-Semitism. I believe he was the one who was brought in to create division amongst everyone and everything. Because our country has never recovered. And then what disturbs me even further
We might have lost Isaiah. I don't know what's going on here. But what I'll say about Obama, I think I don't know if I agree with all of that, but I definitely think he's used as an instrument to do this in a lot of ways. And I think I don't know, people have been working through him during his presidency to divide us further and further with identity politics and wokeness and critical theory influences. I get his point a little bit about it's always good to get better other perspectives. You might have a terrible dad who's really unwise and stupid. Some people have that. Some people don't really, they have a dad in their life, but they're not the best. They're not the best role model, right? And maybe that's more common in certain demographics. I don't know, but so maybe he's speaking to that a little bit. But it is peculiar to say things like, let me see, do I have to let him in? It is peculiar to say, there he is, Isaiah. Oh, where is he? You in?
Chavez, hello.
Yeah, you in?
Oh my God. You know what? I do apologize. We had there you go.
I started singing while you were gone.
Oh my God.
No, I was giving my feedback on that while you were gone, but
my computer just it restarted on me. It restarted on me.
Yeah, that happens, man. You got blue screened?
I did get blue screened. I did indeed. I got blue screened. Holy shit.
It's the deep state, man. It was Obama. Just
Yeah. Fucking Beetlejuice. Fucking Beetlejuice. Yeah, that's what it is. It's fucking Beetlejuice. Yeah, it's Obama's like Beetlejuice. Yeah. Yeah.
He say his name 3 times.
Say his name 3 times. Your computer will get blue screen. Listen, I'm a shorten this up. Whatever respect I had for Barack Obama's gone. Whatever love I once had for Barack Obama as a man, as a father, and everything else is gone. Whatever example I thought that he had for us as men, and in particular as a black man, I'm throwing it all away. I am throwing it all away. Fuck Barack Obama. You already blew whatever political capital you had with a lot of black people when you was out here talking shit. When you was out here talking shit to black men, telling us that we needed to get in line, when you were playing slave catcher, telling black people we needed to get in line for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
You lost a whole lot of black people then, especially especially the ones who remembered that you didn't do shit for black people at all. Specifically, it was like pulling teeth to get you to even acknowledge that black people were even in the country. You had Barack Obama had one thing in mind, and that was the centralization of power, the unlimited growth of government, and placing everything LGBTQ IAP, pedestalizing that over everyone else. Jordan said, did nothing when police brutality stuff happened under his watch. Of course. He went and had a beer summit when Skip Gates's place when Skip Gates broke into his own house. Yeah, you know.
I'm so pissed, man. I just realized my camera wasn't plugged in. I was wondering why my camera looks like shit, and it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't
man.
Now I'm looking good.
There we go. Damn. But the point I'm trying to make is I am done with Barack Obama. Barack Obama wants to go, and again, this whole you're making an open pederasty argument. And sitting there with Michelle Obama and his punk and her punk ass brother.
Easy.
Her punk ass brother, y'all sitting up here just going, I heard that. Like, bruh. I'm done. I'm over it.
I'm gonna say I was saying this when you were going. I didn't take it quite as intensely as you did, and sinister what he was saying. I think I get kind of what he was saying as far as like, imagine if you were, you had a really terrible dad, or like a deadbeat dad, or a real stupid ignorant dad, or something like that, or a dad who's like a gangster or something like that, or sometimes it's good to get a different perspective, but at the same time, at the same time, it's like, it also seems like it could be opening the door of like, hey, listen to your woke professor instead of your dad, like opening something to be like, yo, is your dad like a conservative? No, you should listen to your critical theory professor. So there's that as well, which I don't like, and I think the left does that quite a bit with like the Chicago teachers unions, where they're like, your kids are our kids, right? They're like proudly saying that, like, they are our kids. They are our kids. Like, no, they're not your fucking kids. Those are our kids. That's our children. My children is my child. You have some responsibility with them when they're at school. You're definitely helping educate them, of course, but it's still my kid. You're not your kid. Like, don't get it fucking twisted at all. And I think there's a little bit of that seeping into it. And as far as like, the gay, the way he was saying that about, I thought he was kind of partly talking about like, maybe he was saying some homophobic shit, and he was telling them, well, watch out with that. But to your point of view, and I think, your point, I think there is also this thing from the Democrats where it's like you said before, rightly, is that they hold up like the queer and trans and gay people as like oracles or something like that. Like, you need to they're like the ultimate moral compass or something for everybody. It's like, no, they're just people with, either they're same sex attracted, or they're into some other fucking anti-heteronormative bullshit, which I don't, agree with at all. Or they're into like indoctrinating kids and stuff, which is totally fucking demonic. Or they're confused about their gender identity, whatever the case may be. It's like, we don't need that perspective. You just don't.
We really don't.
I'm not saying they aren't allowed to have a perspective either. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, I can get by quite well without, plenty of perspectives, plenty of like, I don't need to do it by identity. I don't need like the Chinese man's perspective or the Venezuelan man's perspective. Like, it's like, how about good perspectives of based on truth, and wise perspectives, and perspectives based on actual science, whatever. That's a little bit more important. I think diversity of viewpoint is most important, not whatever particular fucking gender identity or identity category. It's like it's the Democrats have it all wrong with that, and I think that's partly what you're trying to say with that.
Well, again, Democrats are all about one thing these days, and that is the centralization and expansion of power. They don't care. They would actually prefer if everyone was poor except their chosen few. They would prefer if everybody were sexually degenerate and lost, mentally ill, sexually degenerate.
Yeah,
they would prefer this. Critical race theory, queer theory, taking kids to drag queen story hour. These are things, generative themes that Paulo Freire talked about in
dismantle the nuclear family.
Right, the dismantling of the nuclear family, like Antonio Gramsci said. They want people lost.
Education's not important.
Fill you so that you can be filled with critical consciousness.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like I saw some of it. I saw some subversion today. I'm not going to get into it because I need to rewatch it and make sure that what I was seeing actually was what I was seeing. But the fact of the matter is, we are living in times when everyone needs to be praying for discernment. We need to be looking for discernment. We are in the lying season. And we didn't, and there's some other stuff that we didn't go into. And, when we get back from the break, we'll talk about some stuff.
Should we talk quickly about Epstein files real quick, or just like quick brief reaction to that? Or,
when it comes to the Epstein thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've decided, I decided a while ago that I was going to stay quiet about it. And here's why. There's bigger things at play here. Okay? For one, the fact that Trump now has Democrats calling for the release of the Epstein files tells. Okay, so I'm gonna give you what I think is going on here. Remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoons from back in the day, where you got Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny? They're going at it, right? And he's saying, and Bugs goes, "It's duck season." And then Daffy goes, "Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season," right?
Yeah.
And then Bugs goes, "It's rabbit season." And Daffy, not even thinking, goes, "It's duck season." Then Bugs does it again, rabbit season, duck season. And then after that about the third pass, Daffy snatches the gun, hands it to Elmer Fudd, and says, I know what time. I know what season is. It's duck season, and he hands the gun off to Elmer Fudd, and Fudd shoots it. Fudd and Elmer just blows his fucking face off. Okay, listen, them Looney Tunes cartoons were trying to teach people stuff. Okay, but that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. This has been a time of rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. Like that reversal, Trump has succeeded in getting the Democrats to reverse their own position. And this is not the first time that he's done this. And it's not even the first time that he's done this in the last 4 or 5 months. This isn't the first time they've had a battle over the Epstein files. This isn't the first time the Democrats and Republicans have been fighting over it. There are bigger things at work. There are bigger things at play here than what we understand. I don't know what's happening, and ladies and gentlemen, neither do you. We don't know what's going on with these Epstein files. So again, I'll let you say what you got to say, but I'm just saying right now, my policy right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really, it's obviously you'd like to see the client list and all those people be exposed, of course. Trying to, hooking up with 13, 14-year-olds, whatever the hell they were, young girls, is despicable and pedophilia and all that. But I think I don't think we're going to see it ever come out unless it's leaked by like some kind of whistleblower. I think it's or maybe 20 years from now when everybody's dead that was involved or something like that, like a JFK assassination thing or something like that. Which I guess I don't know if that's actually anything's really come out on that either. But because I think it's too many powerful people on the list from everywhere. And it's probably very easy to get these to honeypot these freaking powerful men because they're men. They're probably all addicted to sex. They're all they can get anybody they want. So then they want forbidden shit. And it's a way for I think the CIA and Mossad and maybe other intelligence agencies or whatever to impose leverage on people.
Exactly.
It's a power move. It's a power play. It's probably justified as being in the best interest of the U.S. and Israel and all that. And it's a grimy way to do it. Probably every country on earth does stuff like that, especially powerful ones. So China, Russia, you name it. So it's like, it's just the people trying to get every single advantage that it's possible. And that's just the way human beings are, sadly.
Exactly.
But so I don't think, whether Trump's on a list, whether, Clinton obviously seems to be on that list. Obviously he's like all these pictures and all that. Plenty of other powerful people are probably on that list. And I don't expect either side to ever release it because the intelligence is going to, be like, yo, if we do that, we lose leverage with these people. Maybe there's going to be even bigger consequences. Who knows? So it's just, it's like they use them as spies. They use them as political power, pieces of chess pieces, all that shit, I'm assuming. So I don't know. I obviously it's disgusting and frustrating, but blaming Trump for it, I think is dumb because Biden didn't release it. JD Vance probably isn't going to release it if he's president. Nobody's going to release it probably. I mean, it's not going to happen. So I think it's out of their hands in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's just deep state shit, I think,
Same. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. That is Apostate Radio episode 24. This has been a great 6 months. We went at this for 6 months. Thereabouts, yeah.
It's funny. It seems sometimes it seems longer. Like when you say like, oh, it's episode 20. Was it 24 today? 25, something like that?
Yeah, and that's not counting the lost episodes.
Yes, that's right. It's not counting the lost episode. But yeah, I mean, when you say that, I'm like, it's only been 24. It's only been 25. But
and you look up, you're like, fuck, we started this in like February.
yeah, I know. It's really not that long ago, but it's been great. I love it. I think I love talking to all these really smart, brave, often brave people, talented people, Probably all of them. I think you could probably say are brave one way or another. Even our buddy, especially our buddy, the blue guy. What's the blue puppet? What's his name? Edgar.
Oh, Edgar! Holy
puppet
shit!
Edgar.
Yeah.
And he's ready to get punched in the face all the time. Like everybody's been putting their neck out there for years in one way or another. Whether it's Dan Bermawi, probably a lot of Muslims want to kill him, or Keri, who she's losing friends, just like all of us lost. I'm sure all of us have lost friends, all apostates, all former liberals, and they're not really friends. I think at the end of the day, if they can't accept that, like, hey, we have legitimate reasons for not wanting to be part of this, or not trying to sign up to this. So either and our real friends and family will accept that. Even they might not agree with you, but they'll accept that. But if they don't, they weren't meant to be in your fucking life, and they could fuck off. And they should be ashamed of themselves, honestly.
Exactly.
But anyways, it's been an honor, man, and we're just getting started as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we are. Listen, I've got the stuff that I've shared with you about, like I don't want to get too far into it because we are still live, but guys, there are things that we're gonna have a much more structured show in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna have more things for you to get into, more ways that you could support the show.
Starting OnlyFans.
Oh God. We will not
start seeing some of those holy drawers I've been talking about.
Oh no. Oh. Anyways, we're gonna make this thing even bigger, and again, like we said at the beginning of the show, we are truly and deeply thankful. And I'm gonna take my glasses off when I say this. We are truly thankful for each and every one of you who turns in, even if it's for a minute, right? However long, we are thankful to have you watching us on here, and we praise God for you. Thank you so much. We will be back. Apostate Radio episode 25 will be August 10th. And I believe, matter of fact, I'll tell you who we're going to have. Brandon Straka of the Walkaway campaign. Cannot wait for that conversation. That's a long time coming. But
now we're
folks,
talking.
We will see you in 2 weeks. Thank y'all again. Thank you again for all the donations to the wedding fund. Again, you won't have to worry about me talking about it after this episode. I'll be sharing it up until the day of.
Definitely got to share pics, man. Share some videos, pics on Twitter.
There will be a stream
next. Oh, really?
There will be a stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to be streaming it.
All right.
I think it's going to be from my church's from on my church's YouTube channel.
Ooh, I might have to stream into that.
We will be streaming, and I will be and
put that in the chat, bro. When you're ready, throw that stream in the chat.
Yeah. Because listen, I'm gonna need everybody in our circles to to share that. I need everybody to like. I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. If you within the sound of my voice, we're gonna post that. We're gonna post that stream, and we want it to go viral. Okay, not just and honestly, not just for me. It's gonna be a small wedding. I want the church. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and take a minute and talk about this real quick. We're getting married at my church, the church I grew up in. Church was Trinity Reformed Baptist Church, but then it became Cornerstone Community Church a few years ago. The pastor of this church is Steve Hartland. Okay. I have known Pastor Steve for 30 years. Meaning this man was my pastor like in 10th grade. Okay. Steve Hartland, Stan Gray, and there are a couple other people, a couple other men who lead Cornerstone and have led Cornerstone like for years and years. They are great men of God, and Cornerstone was the church I grew up in, and I really want them to blow up.
Mm.
I want people to know and understand where my foundation came from. Because the Bible does say we our hashtag is for those who strayed, but the book of Proverbs says you train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that's we're getting married at underneath of that's a place I didn't think I would ever get married under, but Kareen did this, and Kareen wanted it. She actually made the suggestion that we do this in my church, because traditionally we do it in the bride's church. She did this because the theme of our ceremony is restoration. There's in my previous marriage, my family were not at the wedding. We're going back like 2012. And this is the Kareen insisted that this is the do-over in which we restore the ties to my own family and reestablish, and establish new bonds with her family. And this is honestly how I know I've got a good one.
Yeah, that's a good sign. That's a very wise too. Very wise to do that.
So I'm probably going to be crying like a fucking baby.
I know you will, man. I know you.
Because I almost did Friday but last week. But anyways, guys, thanks again for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. Have a great night, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe I'll be talking to you. We'll